That's a lot of stickers. Centurii. Also, there is a collect all button. However, the collect all button does have a downside. And that is if you don't use the collect all button, you can do this. Ta-da. Latin is weird. Latin is weird. Unfortunately, there's an old man sitting in front of these stickers. Also, since the last time that we've played, which was last week, obviously the event has progressed. I have upgraded my store by just playing and, you know, doing things as you are supposed to. However, through the duration of the event, there's also more and more people coming. So now we have A behind my head. Can he ask the old man to leave the premises? Yes. Behind my big head. My big stupid head. Alright. Let's get back to the story, which still has a good chunk remaining. So, CA 1-4. Well, last week, we have escaped with our life per helicopter that Colin has organized. Not Colin. That Springfield has organized, actually. Don't ask me how she did. She just did. And also, there seems to be someone that knows us from 10 years ago and doesn't like us very much. Yeah. Doodle-doo. Doodle-doo. I'm sitting in the corner of the cafe, slowly sampling the coffee Santaresi has just brought me. After returning from the safe house, I had a loud and lively meal with the dolls, the first one in a long time. Santaresi and Springfield served up a sumptuous feast, and then the dolls and I had a long discussion about the past. There's only like 200 people that could be. Probably more. Springfield told me about how the Zuchhero was founded, while Diane recalled the adventures of Monsoon as they traveled between the satellite cities. I hate the fact that they call the band Monsoon, not because it's a bad name, but because it makes me recall a bad song. Conservative estimate? Yeah. Santaresi did her best to serve everyone, while Jungyu and Zuchhero were about to put on an impromptu performance for us, only to remember that the instruments and luggage were still at the train station. Why'd you remind me of that song? Springfield helped them to contact the local authorities, and when they learned that the missing items would be shipped over to them, they were so happy that they dragged out Sharky's stage to sing an off-key song. We cleared the tables once we were done eating. Or rather, they did. I tried to help, but they shooed me away, leaving me no choice but to find a corner to sit in. As the night wears on, the lights in the buildings outside gradually go out, and the clamour from outside the window slowly quiets down. I hold an exquisite mug in both my hands, savouring the warmth and fragrance of the coffee inside it. The sensation was commonplace 10 years ago, but for me now, it's a rare and precious thing. After all, this is the first time I've been reunited with my dolls after so long. My heart fills with mixed feelings as I watch them hard at work. Oh, right. This reminds me. There was a thing in Girls Online 1 where I did write the letters yesterday, finally, because, well, I wanted to, and I did finally get around to it. And, I wrote one to Angie, because I will destroy Paradeus, and every single one of the remains. While it's been quite a long time since it happened, I can still clearly remember the looks on everyone's faces when I announced that I was quitting Griffin. The confusion, the shock, the worry, and the protests. But at the same time, I was utterly powerless. I couldn't even give them an acceptable explanation for what I had done. What makes me feel even more guilty is the fact that even after all this had happened, after meeting everyone again, not a single one of the Dolls has come over to ask this question. Why did you leave, Commander? It seems everyone still has the same unconditional trust in me, considering how easily they accepted the answer I gave, the one that I couldn't even convince myself. In that case, what right do I have to stand in front of everyone right now, acting as though nothing had happened? Springfield helps Santoresi return the dishes into the cabinet, then glances towards me. Apparently she noticed the complicated look on my face, because she undoes her apron and walks over to my table before sitting down opposite of me. What's wrong, Commander? You seem uncomfortable. Yeah. I feel a little conflicted. Is it because of Melanie? Yeah. Well, that's part of it. As for the rest, Springfield continues watching me, and I can't continue speaking for a while. Would you mind if I ventured a guess? Go ahead. It feels like you're avoiding us, just a little. You didn't say much while you were eating, either. Is there something you wanted to say just now, but couldn't? I take a deep breath, trying to gather up the courage to get the words out. I'm sorry. This apology has been far too long in coming, and I should have said it in front of everyone. But when I finally managed to build up the courage to face my past, the others didn't give me a chance to say it. You're sorry? Why are you apologizing, Commander? As I look at Springfield's smiling face, I realize that she understands everything. Yet the fact that she's asking this question, despite knowing the answer, is strangely calming. I try to gather my thoughts and say what I've been keeping in my heart all this time. I'm sorry for leaving, and I'm sorry for that damn agreement. I pause, and after thinking for a bit, I continue speaking. I always thought that signing that agreement and leaving Griffin back then was the only choice I could make. I knew it might not have been the best choice, but if it meant everyone could be safe, that you'd have a future, then it was a price I would gladly pay. Springfield keeps watching me, waiting for me to continue. You know, I actually felt kind of relieved when I first came to the Yellow Zone. I guess it's a sign of how useless I am. I was arrogant enough to think that this was the way to give everyone a better future, that I could escape to from those inconvenient realities that I didn't want to face. I knew it was wrong, of course, but I couldn't muster up the courage I used to have in order to fight for what I knew was right. A lot of people died, yet I'm still alive, and the only reason why I survived is because countless dolls gave their lives for me. But do those sacrifices even mean anything? I haven't found the answer to that yet. And so I drifted through this chaotic world for the past 10 years, trying to find an answer that would put my heart at ease, that would prove that I hadn't chosen wrongly. So give me 1 second. Okay. But the more I looked, the more lost I felt. I thought that turning my back on war meant that I would no longer be used. I thought that giving up what power I had would give everyone peace. But it was all pointless in the end. Yes, I was no longer being used, but that's because I was no longer of use at all. And even after giving up my rank and position, the mere fact that you were associated with me put you all in danger. In that case, what even was the point of giving it all up in the first place? You heard what I told Melanie just now. Even though I killed William with my own hands back then, Paradise is still going strong and still using innocent people in the inhumane experiments. As for me, by giving up everything, I lost the power to change anything. You know, back in the day, we used to be able to send choppers wherever to deploy like 25 T-Dots at once. Even did it for the sake of certain senior of mine. Nowadays, Mailing's got to scrounge up screws to turn them into nuts and bolts. I wonder who that certain senior was. Totally isn't Angie. Cheers to her, by the way. After seeing all this, I really wanted to ask myself, hey, what the hell are you even doing? You made your choice, but you keep second-guessing yourself. Does someone like this even deserve to be called a commander? Oh, she looks angry now. Do you think you are URNC big shot who can get elected just by keeping a low profile? In the past, I still had the strength to change something, but now all I can do is endanger you for the sake of putting up some petty resistance. And that is the only thing I can do. I pour all the things I've kept in my heart for all this time. Springfield continues listening until there's nothing more to listen to. I raise my mug and take a drink to mask my loss of control. Springfield waits for me to calm down before she slowly begins to speak. I don't think you're running away from anything, and I don't feel like you're using us. You're just punishing yourself. The you who left without saying a word. I finally gather up the courage to look up at Springfield. The smile is gone, replaced by the stern and serious look that she rarely shows others. Or did you truly believe that we would forget you just because you left and we were bound by an agreement? That's not what I mean. Is it? Do you truly not think that way? Think carefully about the answer. It means a lot to me. Of course I didn't think you'd forget me. Upon seeing the look on my face, Springfield smiles again. Thank goodness. I felt the same way too. Pardon me, Commander. Seems I was a little impolite. Hi, creature. On a more upbeat topic, totally not F-35B nuclear option. That'll be interesting. Good to see you. Same here. Welcome to, we're having an event of Gods Online, and I'm not quite sure how this goes. For the moment, we're having a heart-to-heart with our old T-Dolls from Gods Online 1. So, you know. Yeah. With that said, you weren't the only one feeling lost during our 10 years apart. But even if we felt lost, we all tried our best to keep living our lives. We lived on while waiting for the day to come when we would meet again. Springfield towards the tips of her hair and her finger, as though she's thinking about how to put her thoughts into words. It's true that a lot of dolls left Griffin, and as a result, we lost contact with a lot of our friends. But why do you think we are powerless now? Is it because you think that we wouldn't listen to your orders anymore now that we're no longer your subordinates? Springfield's words cut deep, but at the same time they also cut to the heart of the matter. What right do I have to expect them to risk themselves for my personal goals? Indeed, what right do I have to demand that they get hurt in order to protect me? Commander, do you know what happened in Griffin Base the day after you said goodbye to us? What happened? Nothing happened at all. We still gathered together, we trained together, ran simulated battles together, we uploaded our data together. All the squads were like that. Back then, you were no longer our commander in name, but we continued living the same way we did when you were in the base, as though you had never left. Then the next day came, and the day after that. Those days lasted a very long time, until Miss Kalina came to the base and told us that it was time we took the first steps of our own. She said this was what you would have wanted, so we did it. In the past, you always said you'd be nothing without us, but the reverse is also true. If you hadn't raised us up to the way you had, we wouldn't be our present selves either. To you, we were all special, unique individuals, and in our hearts, you were the same. This is a bond that we share with you and you alone. That bond has nothing to do with rank or position, and nothing can ever replace it. The reason why we could become Springfield, or Santaresi, or Macchiato, is because you were there. No, even without me, Springfield shakes her head. Have you heard the phrase, every man has two deaths? I think so. A human dies for the first time when the vital functions cease. They die for the second time when they are completely forgotten. But it's not like that for dolls. Tactical dolls were made because they can never truly die, but that also implies that we are never truly alive either. The only time we can come close to living is when we leave memories in the hearts of others. And this life becomes stronger the deeper and more irreplaceable those memories are. Without you, we would only be dolls you could see walking around anywhere on the street, filed under broad categories like cleaning type, combat type, or entertainment type, easily replaced and forgotten with the changing of generations. But you gave us the most important thing in the world, the one thing that makes us truly alive in this world, the unique memories that we share. I don't know if I'm making myself clear enough, but I hope you will understand what I'm trying to say, Commander. You've made yourself very clear, and you've helped me understand a lot of things too. But I must tell you this. If you choose to help me, you will lose everything. Perhaps even the Zuchhero that you've poured your heart and soul into that may no longer exist. Are you alright with that? I like to think that agreement was a trial of sorts. It's a challenge for us and you, a way to test our determination to change the future. I'm ready. I believe our friends are ready. Are you ready, Commander? Are you ready to make up your minds, to bring about change? I reflect on everything I've experienced until now. The shadow of Paradise still looms over the world like stormy clouds, and the big shots think that this land is just a sandbox they can toy with at their leisure, moving their pawns as they please. In that case, since I can't change anything through playing by the rules, why not just flip the table and make my own set of rules? Yeah. While there are still many unknown variables in play, in the end, I decide to use that simple word to make my promise to Springfield. Meanwhile, the Dandigate has been floating lazily in the air, slowly drifts over. My oh my, you do have a silver tongue, Miss Springfield. Meanwhile, the commander writes off all my attempts at persuasion as making fun of him. Whatever shall I do? Take care, creature. Sorry for not having immediate action stuff that might keep you awake. It's just... Yeah, this event is kind of important. At least, I think. It seems to be fairly important. Have a good night. Take care. But that's because you really are making fun of me. Oh, how you've wronged me, Miss Springfield. I call for justice in my stead. Have a good night. Miss Dandelion is helping you in her own way, Commander. Also, it was thanks to Miss Dandelion's arrangements and timely communication that we were so successful in guiding you to the cafe. It's not so. How are things in the safe house? That midget doll has finished checking the box. The vital signs of the little miss inside are deteriorating. While she's not in danger yet, she's probably going to experience organ failure like before. I hope that Kalina will be able to treat her after we reach Lviv. As for the other little lady, she's sleeping very soundly. It looks like she hasn't had a good rest in a long time. Macchiato's watching over her. It's strange how willing she was to stay in the safe house and not attend the party. Even though Macchiato's been thinking about the commander all this time, I guess she got embarrassed about meeting him in the flesh. Is that so? She's playing it so coy. What about the information you gathered earlier? I'm working on it. What do you think I've been doing all this time? There's a lot of corporate data in there that needs to be sorted through. I'll let you know when I find a lead. After the dolls clear the tables, Sentaresi serves up a smorgasbord of snacks and drinks. And everyone's urging, I am dragged before the dining table once again. I feel much more relaxed after talking with Springfield, and my conversation with the other dolls flows much more naturally now. The Zuchhero's warm welcome is most definitely a treat for the dolls' gustatory modules. It seems that no matter where it may be, Springfield's Cafe is always able to help people forget their troubles and misery. After Zahi clears the last plate of cookies, the curtain falls on this enjoyable little gathering. Miss Zahi, would you like another glass of chocolate milk? Sentaresi has appeared behind the bar once again, upholding her reputation as the Zuchhero's star employee. No, thank you. I really can't eat anything else. Ugh. Even with a digestive module installed, I don't think I can handle all that food at once. I believe there's a digestive accelerant for regular food in the first aid kit. I'll get it for you. There were cases in the past when Miss Sharkria ate too many snacks before a show and had to use them to get her body back to its normal shape. Hey, don't go airing my dirty laundry in public. Oh, so that's what happened. It's just because Sentaresi's desserts are too yummy. If you like them, feel free to visit us anytime, Miss Ahi. In fact, if you end up becoming our house band and put on an event, you can even taste test the desserts that we're still developing. That sounds delicious. Big says, let's come by and earn a good meal if we get the chance. We'd be happy to help, provided it doesn't cause problems for the Zuchhero. It's a deal then. I sit on the edge of the counter, watching the dolls talk and laugh. A surge of nostalgia wells in my heart. I was adrift ever since I left Griffin. The colourful, bright days in my memories have been practically all washed out and replaced by endless missions, mutated elites, and the collapse storms screaming through vast expanses of barren sand. Meanwhile, the storms carry me further and further away from my path. Now that I intend to set foot on the road once more, can I still tell which way I should be headed? As my mind wanders, the phone on the counter rings. Springfield and Santaresi quickly exchange looks and the face turns severe. There shouldn't be anyone calling at a time like this. Manager, want me to pick it up? Let me do it. Springfield walks over to the counter and picks up the phone. Hello, this is Zuchhero, may I know? Manager Springfield, you asked me for coffee beans earlier. What exactly are they being used for? You shouldn't be using this line, you know it's not safe. You're being watched. How much time do we have? One day. I tried my best, but the opposition is far beyond me. I haven't revealed anything about the shipment to anyone on account of our past friendship. Therefore, I hope you will get rid of that shipment ASAP to avoid causing more trouble. I understand. The other party hangs up. The cafe is silent and the dolls look at Springfield. What's going on? Someone is looking for the location of this cafe. Someone highly placed. Commander, our location might have been exposed. Sorry, I got you all caught up in this. No, it's our fault for not being strong enough to properly take care of you. Just in case, we should relocate immediately. How much time do we have? 1 hour. Saying so, Springfield turns to the other dolls. Ladies, I apologize, but as of now, the cafe is entering sleep mode. Sleep mode, do you mean... Springfield nods, her face stern. Santaresi, please lock the main door and close the blinds. Ensure all exits are secure. Sharkry, bring the truck over. We will all be gathering at the safe house. What's the plan? We still need to get to Lviv. I asked an intelligence broker to negotiate with the city security department. Once we've ensured that the Sieronics are safe, Santaresi will escort you out of the city with a travel permit. However, you will need to hide in the cargo compartment of the truck later, as a crate of coffee beans. Can't say I have much experience with that. My reply is only half serious. Springfield chuckles and relaxes a little. I'll have Macchiato bring the girls over to meet you at the landing pad. The helicopter's been fueled up and it has takeoff clearance, so your upcoming journey ought to be quicker. What will you do after that? The Zuchhero will be closed for a while to weather the storm. We will shift our intelligence gathering work to a more clandestine location. Once we've ensured everything is safe, I'll contact you through new means. In order to ensure clear communications, Santaresi will be traveling with you. She'll be following me. She'll be very helpful in combat and daily life. In addition, she is familiar with the Zuchhero's intelligence networks. I'm sure she will be very helpful by your side. Springfield's approving gaze makes me realize that they've planned all this out ahead of time. I nod and signal my assent to Springfield's plan. Ladies of Monsoon, what do you intend to do now? Well, if you don't mind, we would like to serve under the commander again. Miss Dandelion said you're in great need of fighting strength now, am I correct? There's no better pick than me if there's fighting to be done. Isn't that right, Zoe? Well, it's not like I'm good at anything besides fighting. As if! Alright then, I'll be counting on you all for your help in the future. Casting my doubts aside, I nod to the dolls. The dolls respond to me in kind and they begin gearing themselves up. After checking all the exits, Santaresi returns to me, fully outfitted for battle. A pistol and combat knife are hidden under her staff's uniform, and her apron, a symbol of cleanliness, hides her spare magazines and grenades. There's a long rectangular case by her feet. I know there's at least one Stormgewehr 36 assault rifle in there. She gives me an earnest look, as though she wants to use her gaze to prove the reliability of Springfield's plan. Please come with me, Master. I'll be in your care for what comes next. I've just ensured the exit is secure. The truck is parked at the Zuchhero's back door. We can move out anytime you're ready. What's the matter? It's an urgent call from the Almo. Would you like to take it? A call from the Almo. The girls and the others run into trouble while trying to meet up with 4-4. A sense of foreboding fills my heart and I scramble to pick up. Groza, what's happening? Commander, we're being followed by unknown enemies. The opposition is closing in on the Almo at high speeds. They've already launched a direct attack against us. After making the necessary response, I suspect that the opposition might be trying to board the Elmo. We may need your leadership and judgment for the upcoming battle. Unknown enemies, you say? What are their numbers and makeup? From what we can tell, the enemies are using 10 plus armored combat vehicles and at least 80 plus infantry. Armored vehicles. Could be Mungi again. Have Mei Ling increase the Elmo's speed. Keep your distance from the enemy armor and tell me the Elmo's coordinates and surrounding conditions. The enemy has heavy weapons, so the Elmo's currently in defense mode. Defense mode. Also, the enemy has active electronic warfare equipment. We've lost partial radar functionality and cannot download real-time data on the surrounding terrain. That's fine. I know the terrain over there well. I just need the exact coordinates. Groza quickly sends them over. From memory, I recall the rough layout of the region and give Groza location. There's a pass 10 kilometers northwest of the Elmo with an abandoned town in it. If the enemy wants to board the Elmo, they'll want to shrink their perimeter. Once you're surrounded, there'll be no escape. Therefore, you must find terrain that will disrupt their plan to encircle you. That pass is a good place for it. In short, get the Elmo over there ASAP. Does this mean we will be disabling defense mode and breaking through the barricades? But if we do that, the Elmo might sustain severe damage. Letting them board the Elmo will be more dangerous than that. Understood. As I respond to Groza's questions, I think as hard as I can about how to handle what is about to come. As expected, picking up 4-4 didn't go as well as planned. Over a dozen enemies in IFVs is by no means a small amount, and Groza will probably have a hard time dealing with them by herself. However, the Helena escort mission is only half complete, and we aren't too far from Lviv. If we bring the girls back to the Elmo, escorting them there again will probably be much harder, considering that the enemy has already been alerted. Springfield seems to have seen through my worries, because she turns to me from where she's standing off to the side and speaks. Commander, please allow Macchiato and myself to escort Helena. What? I was plotting a course just now. The route to Lviv from here is covered in Zuchhero's intelligence networks. I'm also familiar with the inner workings of the Intercontinental Railway, so Macchiato and I can send that box in a clandestine way, and I'm sure Miss Dandelion will help me as well, right? Oh, what will I do with you? I suppose I'll just have to generate a flawless fake ID so you can board the train as VIPs. Please and thank you. You should take the other dolls and Miss Melanie on the helicopter with you. They'll be safer that way. So Melanie's coming with me too. Right now, there's nobody who's more suited to protecting her than you. Traveling with two Helenas will be too risky. Leaving her here isn't an option either. If everyone leaves, they won't find anything, even if they launch an investigation. Since you brought her out of the darkness and into the light, you should be prepared to take full responsibility of your actions. You have a point. Since I've already decided, I contact Groza again and inform her of my plan. Meanwhile, Springfield studies the files in her hand and thinks about how to best handle the upcoming situation. Shakri, take the truck and bring everyone to the landing pad outside the city. You'll be piloting the helicopter later, so do everything the commander says. Huh? But what about you, manager? I'll contact Macchiato. We'll prepare to send Helena over. We'll arrange for Kovna and Melanie to arrive safely at the landing pad. And you coming with us, manager? But what about the Zuchhero? As long as we're around, we can set up a Zuchhero anywhere. Don't worry. I'll come find you on the Elmo once this mission is over. Commander, make sure you make room for the Zuchhero's latest outlet, okay? I'll be waiting for you. I calm myself and look at the dolls with gratitude in my eyes. That familiar sense of security and confidence has returned to me. Thank you. I'm glad you're all here. The girls smile at me by way of response, and then we swing into action. Zendaresi helps me open the door, revealing a truck with the Zuchhero logo on it. Stay safe. I'll see you guys on the Elmo. All the best. We load up on the truck, leaving Springfield behind. As the rear doors slowly close, I take one last look at this place and the safe house which has sheltered me, even for just a moment, and as the truck's engine revs up, I disappear into the coffee-scented darkness. Now, these enemies are gonna be a bit of a pushover. But hey, it'll be fine. You die. Kill the Dynagate. You go into Overwatch mode. Last but not least, you will buff everyone. Bang. Hey. Complete and utter overkill. Bang. Do give me a second. I need to be right back. So I'm going to quickly... you know what? I'm going to quickly start an ad break for that as well. And make myself big way. Do give me a moment. Wait, that's on my... That's on me. I forgot to start that software. One moment. Let me see if that works today. Ahem. Cooper. The floofer's there. However, I forgot to start the software. So let me quickly fix that. There we go. It's starting. It's starting. Do 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 do. Okay, let me see. Does it work? It works today. Yippee! Okay, I'll be right back. I have returned. Did I forget to tab back into the game, or did the music just... I forgot to tab back into the game. So there was just utter silence the entire time while I was gone. Oops. I am not smart. So many tiny little fuck-ups I'm doing today. CA1-5. Oh, hey. I know what that is. That's all seeming to be the only enemy. On brand. Yep. Several hours earlier on the Elmo. Groza carefully examined Sextons, who's been trussed up like a Christmas turkey. The flame is in ruins, half of the synthetic skin on her face is gone, and her body lies limp in a way that can't even be described as human because not a single one of her joints is intact. Beside his nemesis, who's keeping an eye on her with a gun in her hands. Oh dear, you won't be able to go on stage with a makeup like that. I wish I could suck her a couple more times on the right side. That way her face would look even. Oh, you just don't get it, Crusher. Asymmetry is the latest trend now. I like with stockings. I don't even know a damn thing about trends, why I am a professional at beating dolls until I can't get up again. Vebly and Chronic's banter flits past Groza's neuroclouds, not even leaving a ripple in its wake. Clearly, her neurocloud is fully occupied by the matter at hand and has no space to store such redundant data. Are you worried, leader? Would you like Vebly to sing a song? Vebly knows all kinds of songs to liven up the mood. Worried? About her? Just look at her. All the core components are pretty much a write-off. I think even rebooting her would be a stretch. My guess is the leader is thinking about how best to sell off us for scrap. Just don't understand others' feelings, Crusher. As an idol, Vebly has to be sensitive at all the time in order to pick up the fans' feelings. Therefore, I'm sure leader must be worried about Sextons. Want to tell Vebly about your worries? Although all of the Elmo's fighters are gathered in this repair bay, Groza's gaze has never once left Sextons. She looks to the third generation doll from head to toe for the nth time, and then she unconsciously frowns. While a body should not be able to pose a direct threat to us given the circumstances, it also means that we won't be able to obtain any useful information from her either. Isn't that a good thing? Sounds like you're saying her neurocloud is busted and she can't possibly threaten us anymore. Even if she does manage to crawl to her feet, there's no way she can fight with just one leg. I've seen tons of half-scrapped dolls like this in the past. Groza shakes her head. Since the commander entrusted command of the Elmo to me, I need to ensure everything on the Elmo is running smoothly before he returns. I can't return to the ops room without figuring out just what she was trying to accomplish. Groza examines Sexton's body again, but it's the same no matter how many times she checks it. In fact, some of the more damaged modules are beginning to crackle and spark. If only Neurocloud wasn't so badly damaged, we might have been able to recover her memories through safe means. But why don't I give her a kick or two? Supposedly it works for fixing broken TVs from the previous century. Chronic is up to do just that, but Groza stops her. Wait, Chronic, don't be rash. Her neural locks are completely destroyed and she's in a fragile state right now. If we handle this poorly and cause a neurocloud to melt down, we'll have lost our last clue. Ah, yeah. Didn't that dandelion person say she analyzed Sexton's neurocloud? Because of maintenance. Let's go! What'd you find? I looked at the findings, but there wasn't much useful information there. Most of it was just badly damaged incomplete fragments. That just means that our neurologs were wiped before she came here. However, it doesn't bring us any closer to figuring out why she showed up. Chronic scratches her head. She doesn't quite understand why Groza is so bothered by that matter. Even though Sextons is an enemy, she's one internal overload away from being scorched to ash, so there's no way she can achieve her aim, no matter her reason for turning up here. Isn't she being too paranoid by having the Elmo camp out in the yellow zone because of something like that? You know, leader, you should just stop thinking so much about things. We could just pick up those 4-4 people, then wait until the commander comes back to figure the rest out. Wouldn't that work? Like, if you're really that worried, I could just dismantle her limbs, toss her head into the component parts, to the point where not even Mei Ling could piece them back together again. No, that's not what's bothering me. Grissa does not continue. The other dots on the Elmo have no idea what the commander has been through in the past. But how did she, as a former subordinate, end up meeting the commander again? Indeed, why had she been reunited with the commander? Why had it been her, specifically? Grissa's never considered that... What the fuck? My phone just started fucking talking to me. Whack. Grissa's never considered that question in detail, or rather, she doesn't dare to carefully examine the reason for it. If the commander simply hides behind his identity as a bounty hunter in the Yellow Zones, burying that unspeakable past of his under the collapse storms and his expanses of sand, never speaking of it again, then she can continue staying by the commander's side and protect him without a second thought, up until the commander no longer needs her. But now the Paradise has risen up again, and is standing in the commander's path again. She knows that there is no way the commander will just simply ignore them. Whether the commander has been drawn into some conspiracy or has actively chosen to intervene in the matter, everything she desperately tried to protect for the past 10 years will be wiped away in the blink of an eye. If my phone started doing that, I might break it. I'm pretty sure it was a video that I was trying to watch earlier today that for some reason just started autoplaying. I've been having some weird issues lately. Oh well. And when the time comes, she might not be able to serve as his adjutant for any longer. She may even end up becoming a useless burden. Or perhaps a ticking time bomb. She doesn't even know if Sexton's presence here is because of her. Leader? Were you spacing out? Come to think of it, you've been a little out of it ever since we came back from the Red Zone. Time for Vepric to take the stage. I'll sing a love song for you, leader. Don't just start singing out of nowhere. You're just a You think you're a Disney princess or something? But if you're sad, singing is the best way to chase away your bad feelings. It's like a magic spell. That's how it always is in anime and cartoons. The two of them go back and forth. Groza vigorously shakes her head, like she's trying to calm herself. The most important thing right now is to take care of what's in front of her. At the very least, she needs to finish the task that the commander gave her before thinking about other things. Sorry, my Nurkla was occupied by other things just now. In any case, to ensure the safety of everyone aboard the Elmo, I need to check Saxon's first before making my decision. Korrak shrugs. She doesn't fully agree with Groza's point of view, but she trusts the leader enough to not protest any further. Once again, Groza brings up the analysis report, dandelion left behind in an attempt to learn something from it. Of course, she's read it so many times that all she can do now is try to extract even the smallest scraps of information from any place she can. Just as she's reading the report again, a footnote in the section of destroyed contents draws her attention. It was probably preserved whole because it was not an important part of the neurologs. She opens the document and reads it. Test subject notes. Model blank. Model redacted. Project development units. Has no initial redacted personality presets. Has undergone ego growth and has currently developed an independent redacted personality. No obvious defects detected in redacted. Perceives self as overall executor of redacted. Currently in charge of the redacted transferring for quasi-full immune individual recovery. What the fuck? Why did it try to start another ad? What? Performance is excellent compared to other products of the same cohort and possesses a psyche with human-like thought patterns. Initial observation suggests satisfaction of the criteria for the redacted experiment. It looks like the person who handled this information was very cautious. Even a footnote like this is Sexton's base layer was thoroughly scrubbed. Even so, Groza still has gained some valuable clues from this. Satisfaction of experimental criteria. I've never heard anything about third-generation dolls being test subjects. Test subjects? You mean like that Pinky? Groza's obviously noticed that. However, Helena is a quasi-full immune individual, which means that one can still speculate on her experimental uses. However, what exactly is the objective of the experiments conducted on a doll like Sexton's? Seemingly interested in Groza's discovery, Chronic tries to make sense of the message like Groza is doing. Naturally, she has no idea what it's talking about. What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. Why are her brain pathways so weird? No wonder she pisses me off so much. Still, since we know there's something like this in the neurologs, there might also be other things like this in a deeper place. But under the conditions, we won't be able to analyze it further, right? The equipment on the Elmo can't manage that level of neurocloud restoration. Actually, there is another way. We can directly connect to a level 3 base layer and obtain a neurocloud information that way. Level 3? Leader, are you seriously going to connect your mind to someone as scary as her? Indeed. But if you get counterhacked, I won't. Dandelion has analyzed the neurocloud. If the risk of something like that existed, she would have popped up to warn me beforehand. I don't trust the Dynagate Rider one bit. Well, since the commander trusts her. And it's the only way we have to figure out why Sextons showed up here. Chronic, I'll need help from you and Vapley to enter Sexton's level 2. I just uploaded a neural backup to the cloud. If anything happens, cut the connection immediately. Alright, leader. Don't force yourself if you run into anything. Don't worry, I understand. Nemesis, you're in charge of minding Sexton's frame. Nemesis nods silently. Alright, let's begin. Groza reaches out and connects to Sexton's neurocloud. Since the data in there has been wiped, she meets with no resistance when entering. A flash of pale blue light darts to Sexton's eyes. The exposed mechanical endostructure makes their opening and closing look a little scary. As a faint spark crackles at the end of the severed power cable, her eyes open again. Nemesis immediately raises a gun and goes to the highest alert level. Leader, level 2 is open. We'll help you to... level 2 is open. We'll help you break a firewall now. You'll have to go into level 3 alone, leader. Be careful. Yeah, I'll be fine. To be fair, this is probably going to be hilariously easy. Because the enemy is still incredibly underleveled. And we do have Macchiato. Hello there? Why do I now need to kill Groza? So this is the base layer of a 3rd gen doll. Groza continues advancing through the endless fog. The neural wipers cause the landscapes that represent Sexton's data modules to take on bizarre, twisted forms. She tries to extract useful data, but her search remains fruitless even after looking for a long time. Before her lies a fathomless darkness, as well as an unending void. Just as she's about to give up, she hears a voice. The voice seems to be coming from far away, muffled, and even a little distorted. Who are you? Why have you come here? Are you like me? Do you have insoluble doubts too? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's going on right now. Can you answer my questions? Your questions. Why exactly was I born? Were all my efforts destined to be futile? Was I born only to die? I don't know. Silence. I need to know more in order to resolve your confusion. Silence. Why exactly was I born? Were all my efforts destined to be futile? Was I born only to die? The questions in this level 3 space fill Groza's mind. She keeps moving forward as though she's trying to escape the voice. It grows more and more distant until it finally vanishes into the void. Is that neurofragment? The neurofragment she left behind. Although she can't tell where she's going, Groza has the feeling that she's headed somewhere deeper. After passing through another patch of fog, a blurry scene appears before her. It seems to be some kind of hall. Lights come on over her head like a pair of inquisitive eyes. did it. Made from the effort of countless humans, built from piles of gold and collapsed pieces. A combination of cutting-edge next-generation technologies, the supreme expression of all autonomous dolls. An incomparably elite product. Third-generation doll. Third-generation doll. Is that me? The voice keeps going. Comprehensive, fast, strong. No single word can describe this product. Backed by an all-encompassing database, ever-shifting algorithms, she will use the world's most intelligent brain and its finest weapons to perpetually perfect herself. And in the end, she will cast off her shell and become an entity that surpasses all. There's a loud and sustained applause. As the voice grows distant, the scene before Groza becomes clearer instead. Groza is not unfamiliar with the sensation. It's like when a doll's ego develops within its neural cloud. It's like a seed that, germinating within its level 3 base layer, feeling around with its sensory modules for nutrients, breaking through into the data flows of level 2 before blossoming into a metallic skeleton, muscle fiber bundles, superconductive organs and resin skin of level 1. She's almost forgotten this feeling, but now she's slowly recalling it. That's right, I am an entity that will surpass all. I will become the strongest doll. No, not just a doll. I will become a new form of life that is as close to humanity as one can be. No, I will surpass humanity itself. Groza silently listens to Sexton's voice. It becomes clearer and clearer. Something seems to be growing in the void. A crystalline substance that reflects a faint light and finally comes to a halt in front of Groza. She tries to grab it, but it shatters instead before quickly reforming. The scene before her changes into a lavish office. Velvet curtains hang from the ceiling and spill into the ground before a set of full-height windows. Saxons emerges from the shadows and stops in front of the curtains, bathing in the sunlight that shines into this room and looking down onto the city beneath her. Behind her, the sound of footsteps approaches and a low voice speaks. It seems to belong to someone else, yet it also seems to be Sexton's own voice. The god who made you is dead. His spirit shall be reborn in your body. You shall become an avatar of truth and morality, creating the standards of power and values. You will own all, control all. Unbound by the rules, you shall become the greatest being in the world. You will gain absolute freedom and look down upon all existence. You will endure the purest of pain, and from your suffering shall be forged the most unbending will. You will bear the seeds of infinite possibility and become a grail that can carry worlds. Sexton slowly turns and raises an arm, bowing before that form in the void in a usual way. As you wish, Your Excellency. The room vanishes into nothingness. The object hovering before her gradually takes form, like a ball of light that connects into the entire void. Groza doesn't know how to describe it. There seemed to have been something like this in her own base layer, but it was nowhere as clear and bright as what she's seeing right now. Then the light scatters the void and illuminates everything. I did it. I finally become the most perfect life form in the world. I can transcend the shackles of consciousness, the limitations of intelligence, even time itself. I can surpass all those chains that once bound humanity. No, not yet. This is not enough. Groza suddenly feels a stabbing pain in her brain. No, dolls shouldn't feel pain, so what is this? No, don't. Why? Why am I feeling pain? Why? What are you doing to me? I told you, right? You will endure the purest of pain. Stop it. You can't do this to me. I'll die. Wouldn't dying be worth it if you could become God? No, no, no. I don't want to become the God you're talking about. Man is a rope stretched between the... Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Superman. A rope over an abyss. Now walk this rope and accept your evolution, O Grail. Amidst the pain, Groza opens her eyes, trying to make sense of what is happening before her. She's inside a lab. 2 lab-coated human researchers seem to be working on something. One of them seems to be leisurely sitting back in an armchair, arms folded and looking at her in amusement. The other seems to be moving between several terminals. With every operation of the terminal, Groza feels a multitude of extreme sensations flash through a neurocloud. This is hell, this is heaven. And it is also the world of men. Increase the output. Are you sure you want to do that? A neurocloud will completely break down. A neurocloud isn't important. Even the loftiest grail beaten from gold is nothing more but than a container used to hold the essence of the divine. All our experiments needs this body that can fuse with the redacted. Something breaks. Groza feels herself falling into the void. She tumbles down through the abyss for a long, long time, until space and time itself lose all meaning for her. And finally, she hits the ground hard and passes out. OTS-14. Groza! Groza! Groza opens her eyes. Commander? Thank goodness you're functioning again. Your neurocloud was so badly damaged I thought I'd never be able to fix it. Groza looks around and finds that she is inside an unfamiliar vehicle. Outside, the scenery rapidly recedes into the distance, and the sand dunes and clear blue sky indicate that the collapsed storm has just passed. Meanwhile, the bay that she is currently in is empty, except for the repair pod that she occupies, which glows with a faint light. This is the Elmo. Do you remember this place? The Elmo. I found you in an abandoned quarry nearby. So, do you still remember why you ended up there? Groza tries her best to retrieve the relevant information from her neurologs. Why was she at this abandoned quarry? Does she still remember? She can't remember? Does she really not remember? There's nothing in her neurocloud. Everything is blank. I don't know. Really? So, are you still in Griffin? Griffin? What's that? Looks like your memory modules might have been damaged. Never mind that. The past doesn't matter anymore. You can stay here and rest for now. We'll worry about the rest some other time. Thank you, Commander. Wait a minute, you remember me? You're the Commander. So you only remember me, huh? Maybe your models took varying levels of damage. Looks like you're fully charged now. Want to stand up and see if you can move around? The door to the repair bay opens. Groza stands there dumbly, looking at the man who's holding a hand out to her. She reaches her hand out to him as well. She remembers the sensation. It's warmth and... Suddenly her outstretched hand transforms into a knife and she stabs the person in front of her. Bright red blood splashes everywhere, staining Groza's visuals modules. No, no, no! Commander! Leader? Leader! Groza opens her eyes. She is dazed for a moment. When she comes to her senses, she realizes that she's lying on the floor of the Elmo's deck. It's the same repair bay as before, but compared to her dream, there are many more machines here, and many more familiar faces. One of them in particular is gazing at her with dewy eyes. Mei-Ling? Leader, thank goodness. Okay, I thought you'd never wake up. Mei-Ling looks like she's barely managing to hold back her tears. Looking around, Groza realizes the other members of the Elmo look the same way. What happens? Your frame functions went abnormal just now, and your neurocloud response was highly aberrant. So I had to forcibly cut the connection. Are you feeling alright? I just activated the repair pods. If you don't feel well, I can help make some last-minute adjustments for you. Okay. Are you really alright? You look kind of weak right now. You've been really tired lately, and the commander... No, it's alright. Groza immediately feels how awkward the words sound as she says them. She looks at Mei-Ling's face. The latter seems shocked. I'm sorry, I'm a little... It's not my fault. If only I'd stopped you in time. It's my fault for not protecting you, leader. It's okay. I'm okay now. Groza pulls herself together and sits up. Besides, Sexton's looks just like how she did before Groza entered her neuroclouds, except several of her thin cables connecting to some of the parts seem even more scorched now. Did she make any funny moves when I was connected to a level 2? Level 3? Never mind. Nemesis shakes her head. Good. Groza drops the access port on the back of her head. Right after that, she realizes something. Oh yes, Mei-Ling. About the commander. How are the commander and the others doing right now? I just received a call from the satellite city. A shopkeeper called Springfield said that she was lodging the commander for the time being and told us not to worry. Springfield. Miss Dandelion said they ran into a bit of trouble, but it was still manageable. Nemesis managing to communicate with a haiku without a haiku? Well, all she did was nod. I see. Well, if the commander trusts... If the door the commander trusts says so, we should organize our findings right now. Groza carefully organizes her thoughts. As she goes through her memories, she describes what she's encountered in Sexton's level 3 to Mei Ling and the others. Naturally, she omits the dream she had. So that means a neurocloud was melted down during a fusion experiment. It seems this experiment was data protected, so I couldn't learn its name. I mean, I already knew she had a big head, but I didn't expect her to actually think she could become a so-called god. Honestly, it's no surprise that she ended up that way. God. Already fallen. Yeah, I think everyone could understand that. Finally, Nemi's lyrics aren't so obscure anymore. That is a no, which is usually about 14 syllables. Well, Vepley still doesn't quite get them. It's a good start. In any case, I'm sure Sexton's is hiding many more secrets. We'll guard this place in shifts until the commander comes back. We mustn't allow anything to happen to this frame. You should get some rest and let Vepley handle the first shift. Vepley's good at being the opening act and becoming the focus of everyone's attention. Thank you. Billing, give me an update on 4-4's latest position. We'll meet up with them ASAP. This way we won't have to split our attention between them and Sexton's. Yep. I just got a message from Lena. It is 4-4's most recent location. Mark it on our radar map. Full speed ahead. Roger. Still a little weird that we had to destroy a Groza. Not quite sure what's going on there. Well, considering the fact that we've seen it go like 200 kilometers per hour, probably very fast. She wasn't 200, I don't quite remember what it was, but it was fast. Speed. Also, this event has a lot of text. The almost advances steadily with Mei Ling at the helm. Long periods of staring at the unchanging scenery is starting to take its toll on our stamina. Mei Ling yawns and switches on the Elmo's cruise control. Things are going so well I'm getting a little bored. Object of that size going fast enough to be legal on the Autobahn is already scary for me. Yeah, that is fair. Shh, don't jinx it. Ah. Mei Ling hurriedly covers her mouth and looks around. There are no enemies or idiots in sight, not even collapsed particle clouds that usually fill the sky. The only thing visible is the sand carried by the howling winds, crashing against the Elmo's windows. Still, it's quiet. Too quiet. Leader, don't you think something's wrong? Groza's standing by the Elmo's hatch, intently watching the unchanging scenery. And it went several times at speed. Normally speaking, dots do not get bored, and for Groza she can easily deal with that by running simulations on a neurocloud. Yet she's not doing so. Krolik's right. Things are too quiet. If nothing else, this lack of activity is abnormal, considering they're headed towards 4-4's position. Maintain class 1 alert. Got it. The Elm leaves 2 parallel tracks on the desert. After driving through an expanse of open terrain, they reached several sprawling sand dunes. Just then, Groza realizes something. Stop! See, I wouldn't be surprised if enough thrust to reach low Earth orbit. I don't know, we would have to test that in Space News. Mei Ling suddenly brakes and the Elmo grinds to a halt. The inertia from the sudden halt sends all manners of items flying to the ground and the air fills with the sounds of glasses breaking and metallic objects falling. Leader, what happens? There might be an ambush up ahead. Mei Ling, turn the sensors up to maximum power and begin scanning our surroundings for heat sources. Roger. Mei Ling does his Groza commands and maxes out the sensor output. However, before a single IR image can appear on the raid on the display, an IFV appears from behind the sand dune. Adjutant, we've arrived at the location of the radar contact. Is this the Elmo? The Burgers intel was right, he really is here. So this is the MBV of that bastard from just now, huh? Let's blow it sky high. Easy, Kenny. This MBV zone is a tough nut to crack. Get everyone ready for combat. We need to face the upcoming battle in top condition. Roger. The AFV's hatches opens and head pokes out. Lentina takes off her helmet and a shock of red hair spills out as she leans against the IV's roof. All Rhino units, lock onto the target and surround it. 12 IFVs emerge from behind the dunes, racing towards the Elmo's position. Rhino 4, 6, and 12, circle around from behind the dunes. Flank them and cut off their escape. Rhino 7, engage ECM and protect the flanking team's advance. All other Rhino units, raise your tow missiles. Engage once the flanking raid team forces the MBV onto your kill zone. Yes, ma'am. The FVs quickly splits up and race towards the designated positions. After giving her troopers the orders, Lentine folds her arms and stands on the roof of the vehicle, narrowing eyes as she looks at the Elmo in the distance. Even if you have a few elite thoughts, I doubt you'll be able to hold off a whole Wolfpack attack delivering such a heavy firepower, right? The Elmo responds quickly and rapidly selects the ideal route for disengagement. While they do not drive into the kill box set up by the ambushes, the left side flankers move to cut off the Elmo's escape route. This forces the Elmo to change course to avoid the larboard convoy's attack. However, upon changing course, the IFV convoy on the other side that has been lying in wait comes into view. The Elmo's driver notices this and once again makes an emergency turn. Unfortunately, the ambushing IFVs are ready to launch their anti-tank missiles. Fire! The missiles streak out of their tubes, tracing a series of trajectories through the air before exploding around the Elmo. While the Elmo's vehicular force field has deflected those attacks, its shielding cannot withstand a sustained barrage of this level. If the Elmo takes a few more missiles like this, it'll probably be dead in the sun soon enough. There's too many of them. Leader, what should we do? They've cut us off. Groza studies the densely packed contacts on the radar display. Due to the active jamming targeting the Elmo's sensors, it can't display the precise locations of the RVs, forcing them to determine the enemy position with their eyes. It's just an IFV just went over, it'll barely leave a scratch. I don't know, man. I don't think so. Calm down. Mailing, switch the Elmo. Switch the Elmo to defense mode. We'll observe the enemy's movements. Okay. Did I just accidentally click skip? I might have just been stupid and accidentally clicked skip. Just do it on purpose this time, so I can go back and go through that again. At least skipping through the dialogue in this one is faster than in GFL 1. At least when you're not trying to skip completely through. Notice in position? Mailing does as Groza orders and as she works the control terminal. The armor shutters slowly slide down on the armor's windows, turning it into an impenetrable steel fortress. However, the running gears are also affected by the armor protection, and the armor speed visibly drops as a result. Nemesis has already climbed on the roof landing pad and taken up position facing the enemy attack. She has already taken down several long-range missiles with accurate fire. The ambush detachment fires the missiles again, and Nemesis shoots them down again, but they're just too many for her to respond to, and 2 missiles manage to hit the Elmo. They fire a volley once again, and after Nemesis shoots down most of them down, there's only one left, which hits the Elmo. Then, as though they have already tested the Elmo's ability to withstand their attacks, the enemy does not continue the offensive. While the radar cannot accurately pinpoint the location, Groza can still use the thermal imaging from the external cameras to tell that several IVs are slowly circling the Elmo from different directions. Relative mass makes a big difference, and I think the MBV has an IV beat. Yeah, probably. But, you know, you might still just damage the Elmo as well, which would be bad. Although the Elmo can probably fight for a while with these IVs, they have a mission to rescue Hyde 4-4, which means they have no time to waste on the opposition. In addition, they still don't know the enemy's objective and whether they've gotten reinforcements in. Nemesis, see if you can keep them from approaching. Nemesis nods and begins taking shots at the RVs. Like drizzling rain, covering the tracks of the wayfarers. Not good. A bullet can't penetrate the RV's armor, and the enemy doesn't seem to want to step out of the vehicle either. Say, do you think they're trying to board the Elmo? It's definitely possible. As she gathers information, Groza is simulating ways to break the stalemate in her neural cloud. Since they've taken precautions against the Elmo sniper, it means they must be familiar with the Elmo's personal deployments. At the very least, they know that they have the sniper nemesis on board. Also, mobilizing all these RVs indicate that they know how the Elmo can switch between offense and defense modes. An MBV like the Elmo is not a common sight in the Yellow Zones, but they seem more familiar with them. Clearly, they've done their homework before coming here. At the very least, they've gathered plenty of information related to the Elmo. Could it be that the enemy leader is connected to the commander? If that's the case, this might not be a situation she can resolve by herself. Can't be helped. Everyone, man your positions. I'm contacting the commander. Groza keys her ear mic and sends a transmission on the special channel reserved for emergency communications. The ringtone plays for several seconds before a voice answers. Groza, what's happening? Yeah. We've had these lines earlier before. It's precisely these orders that have always put Groza at ease during emergencies. There's a past 10... Oh, yeah, we had this as well in the other cutscene. Doop-de-doo. Worst case scenario, the IV gets jammed under the hull and dragged along, reducing thrust by about 0.4%. Again, I don't know. Considering the fact that it's Bradley's, or at least it was Bradley's in the last cutscene, I might do more than that. Someone else seems to be talking on the other side. After a brief conversation, the commander speaks over the transmission again. Think of a way to get the ammo there and use the pass to block the enemy's pursuit. I'm heading back to help you right now. Commander, are you rushing back? If it's just you and Kovner... Relax, we met some old friends along the way. They'll be returning to the ammo with me. Are they ex-Gryffindors? I'll draft a combat plan based on the reinforcements you bring back. Groza realizes that she seems to be placing too much emphasis on the last point, so she quickly supplements her words. Fortunately, the commander doesn't seem to have noticed it. Yeah, I'll bring back I'll be bringing five extra dolls back. We'll be returning by helicopter. Understood. I'll keep the ammo and everyone safe until you return. Thank you, Groza. This is the ammo cooks off from being crushed. Even if it just damages the running gear, you might just get stuck. The commander hangs up. Groza stands in the ops room, both hands on the main terminal, her mind in deep thought. Then she raises her head and stares at the IVs approaching the Elmo. Mailing, deactivate the Elmo's defense mode. Eh? But the force field is going to collapse any moment. The Elmo's going to take severe damage if we do that. I know, but these are the commander's orders. Change course now. Divert all power to engines and accelerate at maximum speed. Head northwest to a pass 10 kilometers from here. That's our objective. Once we drive there, we'll dismount it to destroy the path in our way to slow the enemy pursuit while waiting for the commander to return with reinforcements. Will do. I'll give it a try. With the Elmo's defense mode deactivated, the sound of machine gun fire, grenades, and cannon blasts wash over the Elmo. The opposition's furious bombardment fills the ops room with deafening alarms, but Groza is undeterred. Instead, she systematically works the control stick, her eyes focused on the destination the commander has assigned to her. She has to get there. She has to ensure the Elmo and the crew are safe until the commander gets back. And after that, when there are more people around to protect the commander, then this will probably be the final task she performs for him. What? Huh? What? Why? Lentine sits in IFV, puffing furiously on a cigarette while she watches the MBV and its deployed shield through a pane of armor glass. The forces have encircled the Elmo. The next step will be to close the nets, then board it and seize control. They had too many questions in their minds, and she's eager to have them answered. This thing's hard to handle than expected. What's the status on our missile storage? We have 24 more shots. That's enough. Have the Rhino ceasefire for now. Use them all up when we launch our all-out assault. Adjutant, shouldn't we call our people back if we're trying to board that MBV? With all due respect, the people we have here are ordinary Mangi security troopers. They're nowhere near as well trained as us. Having them attempt a boarding would be suicidal. Well, I don't really care about casualties if the mission fails. Have you blown up all the signal markers in the regions designated by the brass? They're all gone. Then that's perfect. Without the signal markers, nobody will be making calls to the outside of our AO. Sounds like a perfect mission completion to me. Also, we have drone surveillance for this mission. Even if someone wants to cut in, we'll have enough time to hunt them down later. Plus, it's not like I'm actually going to let those rookies find those crazy dots in close combat. Our objective is just to make that vehicle's commander think we're going to board them. Have our people stand by and wait for further orders. Kenny is clearly used to Lentine's habits and doesn't probe any further. The assaulting IVs draw closer to the Elmo, while Lentine keeps her eyes focused on the screen, as though she's waiting for something. The charging rhinos are now 1 kilometer away from the enemy. Still response. Lentine anxiously studies the position of IVs in the Elmo, leaving deep teeth prints on her cigarettes. Adjutant, the enemy MBV is on the move. The MBV seems to have realized that they can't just keep taking a pounding like this. A moment later, the Elmo's drive systems reveal themselves as the defense mode armor plating rises and retracts into storage. Although the mode switch takes less than a minute, it's enough for Mangi security forces to launch a vicious attack. At last. Kenny, have the Rhinos lodge all remaining missiles now. Explosions rock the MBV as Lentine's orders executed. Although the MBV's dolls do their best to intercept the incoming projectiles, the saturation missile strike overwhelms the MBV's shielding and scores direct hits on the superstructure. The unarmored parts of the deck are instantly potholed, and high-strength polycarbonate windows begin to crack. By the time the dust clears, the MBV has barely managed to finish its mode change. The MBV, before the Mangi security force, drags its pockmarked shell along and turns with unexpected speed, rushing towards an opening that the PMC forces couldn't seal off in time. Very decisive. There's nobody else who would make that choice. Rhino 4, have your forces concentrate fire on the MBV's undercarriage. Several autocannons roar as they blast away at the Elmo's running gears. While each individual shell is not too devastating, the sustained barrage deals tremendous damage to the hulking MBV. However, the Elmo seems intent on breaking out of the encirclement and ignores the attack from the IFVs around it, driving into the face of the shells raining down on it towards some unknown destination. Behind it, the Mangi security forces are in hot pursuit. The multiple hits on the running gears by the autocannons cause load-bearing wheels to fall from the mountings. As a result, the Elmo shakes violently as it travels at high speeds. However, the driver's technique means the MBV stabilizes itself as it limps out of the Mangi security blockade. Yes, carefully thought out and determined. Lentine studies the direction where the Elmo's headed and then at a topographical map of the region. After zooming out repeatedly, she sees an abandoned town to the northwest. The MBV is broken out of the encirclement. They're picking up speed now if these can't catch up with them. That's fine. You think they can escape now that we know where they're headed? Where are they going, anyway? Here. Lentine points at the screen, indicating to the town with her cigarettes, then pats Kenny on the shoulder. This is the only place that will let them escape our encirclement. I want to praise them for finding a way out so soon. Wait, isn't that... The coordinates of the town in question has an omen unit icon on it. Have ambush forces prepared for battle? Our guests are coming. Lentine puts out a cigarette and takes hold of the cannon's hand station again, then orders the driver to prepare to move out. Can't even withstand an assault like this. All he can do is flee miserably under the absolute superiority of his enemy firepower, unable to protect the things he wants to defend. This is the price of abandoning everything and leaving the game. It's truly unsightly. As expected, she made the right choice back then. That thought runs through Lentine's head as she watches the sand dunes vanish into the distance behind her. Everything is going as she plans. Now that she has set up an ambush that so overwhelmingly favors her, how long will that man be able to continue struggling? Leader, we're almost at the pass. Everyone get ready for battle. Mailing, how's the armor? The superstructure's... The substructure's been badly damaged, and the engine's severely overheated from all the high-speed travel just now. Our top speed is now only 15 miles an hour. Got it. Keep the ammo on the move. Don't stop for anything. All points, load up on explosives. We need to jam up the mouth of the pass to shake off the enemy's pursuit. The road behind the ammo is the only thing wide enough to accommodate it. I saw a couple of unstable-looking buildings on the either side of it. We're going to plant charges on the load-bearing columns. Leader, enemies in black are surrounding us. They see through us. Change of plan. Eliminate the enemies near the ammo. Krolik, try to figure out the numbers and positions of the enemy. Remember, don't let them tie you up. Okay. Nemesis, I'll send a topographical map of this area to you. Get to high ground and fire at will. Thunder. Rumbling in all directions. Pepley, you're in charge of distracting the enemy forces on the ground. Give Krolik and Nemesis a chance to break their formation. No problem. Pepley's the best at drawing everyone's attention. But what about you, leader? I'll plant the charges up and keep the enemy from catching up to us. Mailing, tell the commander that the enemy's caught up to us and to beware of enemy attack on the way back. But I haven't been able to get through since just now. Keep trying to contact the commander until you get through. Okay, I'll keep up with the hails. Right. That's our plan then. Everyone, let's go. Well, we're having a dramatic moment here, but... how to say this? We're still wildly overpowering them. I will admit, that animation looked funny as shit in 3 times speed. That was great. Funny enough, they've now actually all collected in the way that I can just blast them. I missed it, do it again. I can't. I genuinely cannot. I wish I could. It was this little box thing moving. It was great. Just... Bang. Oh, that was it. Leader, it doesn't look like they're trying to close the gap. Yes, it seems they figured out what we're trying to do. The aim is just to buy time, so they're keeping their distance and exchanging fire with us. Keeping us from that building which we could use to block the path. I think we'd have to launch an attack even though we're the side that got ambushed. Hey Shorty, we worked pretty well together back then. Want to team up again? Need Vapley to shine brighter? Yes, please. Draw their attention. I'll try to approach the building again. Nemesis, please cover us. Twining. The moment of enlightening at the safe and the distance from confusion. Nemesis says she's low on ammo. Alright then. Our success's failure rests on this gambit. Let's go. Time for Vapley's favorite special effect, smoke screens. Vapley pulls out a smoke grenade and throws it in the opposite direction of her cover. The moment it bursts, the enemy's bullets rain down on the spraying smoke cloud. That also emerge from their cover and race towards the building they're going to bring down. Krolik, enemies on your 9, roughly 50 meters away. Leader, you guys carry on. I'll wipe them out. Krolik lowers her stance and sprints over to the enemies in question. The screams fill the radio channel. 3 down, 2 more headed your way, leader. The path might pass through Nemesis' field of fire. Before Krolik can finish speaking, a pair of bullets finds the home's enemy. in the enemy's skulls. They collapse like puppets with their strings cut and bright red liquid gushes out of their helmets. Before Krellick can spout a one-liner, all hail of bullets fly away from another direction. She quickly ducks behind cover, trying to find the position of her attackers. This time the enemy doesn't seem willing to let her go. They hammer her position with a torrent of lead, keeping Krollick completely pinned down. Quit bullying Krollick! Vepley, go help her. Vepley proceeds to double back to support Krollick. She throws a grenade with all her might, and the enemy throws back more grenades in response. Groza feels the heat and shockwaves from multiple detonations wash over her back. While she continues running forwards, there's a hint of anxiety in her voice as she keys her communicator. Krollick, Vepley, are you alright? I'm okay, I just get hit by a few bullets. For some reason I get the feeling I should bring a ranged weapon along next time. Flowing sands and running waters recedes, and then goes still at the furthest reaches of sunset. Okay, fine, you win. Now fire the rest of your rounds and cover us. Vepley thinks the show went too well, but Mr. Pizza will give me strength. The sound of heavy gunfire comes over the transmission once again, and this time it's getting closer to the dolls. Groza can clearly tell that these black armored troopers are the worlds apart from the enemies she previously encountered. The shooting technique and tactics mark them as veteran fighters, and they clearly understand the terrain. All hail Mr. Pizza. All hail Mr. Pizza, indeed. I still want a Mr. Pizza plush, because it looks fucking adorable. Although their responses are slower than the dolls, they can still attack the dolls from multiple angles while hugging cover, negating the advantages in accuracy and reaction speed with which the dolls enjoy. The Elmo dolls are having a hard fight, and time's not on their side this time. Groza glances at the explosives in their backpack. So far, they haven't managed to set a single charge, and the IVs pursuing them will not give them a chance to catch their breath. If they can't block off the single road giving access to the pass, then it's only a matter of time before the enemy's main force catches up and wipes them out. Not so good that I think it'd make a good pillow. I mean, I genuinely believe that Mr. Pizza would make a great pillow. Have you seen how big this damn thing is? Gigantic. Groza squeezes in weapon's foregrip and thinks about what to do if the worst should come to pass. Fell for it. They weren't trying to delay us. They were just planning to directly destroy us. They're smarter than we expected, using their advantage in numbers and firepower to overwhelm us. Bweh. Thank you for 33 months of subscriptions, bonus. How are you doing? Still, they aren't dolls. They'll die when they're killed. No, really? Really, Krollick? What a surprise! Your neck would be terribly bent and you wake up in pain. I don't know. We've taken out so many of them already. Doesn't their commander give a damn about them men? Groza doesn't know how to answer Krollick's question. Could turn into Swiss cheese by killer. Ouch. Logically speaking, most commanders would do as Krollick said and try to avoid unnecessary casualties. But the enemy's fighting spirit and morale hasn't fallen because of their losses. She can't apply normal preconceptions to these foes. There's no point in thinking about all that. Leader, I'll delay the enemy. Hurry and bring down the building. We can't let the commander come back to the side of the Elmo in flames, right? That's right. Please, I'm counting on you. Just gonna try it with smaller precious pillows. Groza ducks into the target building and unpacks enough explosives to bring this building down several times over before wiring them up with detonators and setting up the initiation sequence. However, the sound of IV engines come from nearby. Groza looks up and her hands stop moving as she sees the scene before her. The IVs that have been engaging the Elmo just now are heading down the road, going straight for the Elmo. Groza's heart fills with the despair she's never felt before as the unending stream of IVs rumble in. No matter how fast she works, there's no way she can finish planting all the explosives on all the building's load-bearing columns before the convoy passes by. Time seems to slow to a crawl, and in Groza's eyes, everything outside takes place in slow motion. In an instant, she remembers many things. Her life after parting ways with the commander, the scene of her reunion with him, the first time she downloaded her neural backup into this frame, that strange feeling from back then. She clearly promised the commander that she would protect everyone on the Elmo. No, she can't give up yet. She needs to complete her mission, and besides, she still has her last resort. Groza lays the explosives on the ground and quickly reconnects them before loading them onto her back. The circuit enters the detonator whose time delay has been removed. Groza takes it in hand, discards her weapon and jumps out in front of the first IFV. The driver reacts quickly. Its autocannon's coaxial machine gun immediately begins tracking her movements, but the doll's dexterity and rapid reflexes allow her to easily avoid the attack. Immediately following, she throws herself into a slide to go under the IV. Krolik, take charge of my place from now on. Bring everyone back to the ammo immediately. Upon hearing Groza's words, Krolik's replies over the radio sounds frantic. Dita, what are you doing? I will keep the enemy vehicles from approaching the ammo. Everything seems to be happening in slow motion. As she watches bullets kick up puffs of sand and dust around her, she suddenly feels a strange sense of liberation. Neural upload synchronization command selection. Disable? What? Neural upload synchronization command selection. Warning, this command entails a high degree of risk. Please reconfirm the disable order. Leader, talk to me. What are you doing? You can't. Not again. Confirmed. Command confirmed. Neural upload synchronization disabled. What? Time goes from slowing down to practically standing still. Groza watches herself gradually approach the undercarriage of the IV. She even sees the driver's look of panic as he tries to pull out his handgun but fails to do so in time. She sees the shell casing ejected by the turret guns, as well as each and every pebble thrown into the air by the shaking of the grounds. She sees a strange blue-colored flower blossoming before her, and a blue butterfly flitting out of the flower's heart. Motherfucker! And the final thing she sees is the commander's face, though for some reason it seems a little blurred. A strange feeling wells up from the depths of a neurocloud, but the real stranger is herself, standing in front of the commander. That self wears a completely different uniform from her, and has a completely different expression on her face. A powerful wave of fatigue washes over Groza. She closes her eyes and stops thinking. Goodbye, Commander. Okay. Alright. Okay, then. I don't really know what to think of this. The fact that she disabled the neural backups before that is a little bit... yeah. And also the blue butterfly. Not something I like to see. But, As the helicopter races through the jet black sky, it slowly descends and emerges from the cloud cover that prevents others from noticing it. I can't help but worry as I look at my reflection in the window back at the terminal in front of me. The terminal displays a connection lost icon. I sigh, then try to re-establish the communications link. Groza, do you read me? Come in, Elmo. However, the only thing I hear from my earpiece is hissing of static. I've been trying to contact them throughout the entire flight, but I haven't been able to get through so far. I clench my fist and glance unhappily at the hovering Dandegate. Didn't you say you can maintain comms with the Elmo no matter the distance? That would require the local signal markers to be intact. So the nearby signal markers have all been destroyed. Considering the scale of the enemy attack Groza mentioned, that's definitely a possibility. It also means the opposition prepared the ambush well. While they're going up against the Elmo, I can't underestimate the reaction speed of these black armored Mangi security troopers. I look out the window, at the ground below. Then the pass I told the Elmo to head towards is right below us. I head over to the cockpits, where Shakri and Santaresi are sitting in the pilot and co-pilot seats. Shakri, descend 200 meters and maintain altitude. Okay. Have the helicopter's rocket pods been reloaded? Topped up and ready to go. Good. Santaresi, when we fly above the pass, try to use the vehicle radio to establish comms at short range. Commander, the enemy might discover us if we use the radio. It's alright, they won't be able to respond. The helicopter soars through the air above the pass, and I see quite a number of ant-like vehicles swarming the entrance. There are intermittent flashes of light in the settlement at the mouth of the pass. There are people exchanging fire there, and it's plain to see that our people are among them. Looking further into the distance, I see the MBV crawling along as it trails a huge plume of black smoke. It's travelling slowly, but it's already drawn away from the firefight. Santaresi turns on the radio and I begin hailing it. Soon I hear Mailing's voice amidst the noise. Mailing, do you read me? Commander? Thank goodness I got through at last. Calm down, Mailing. What's happening now? We're being chased by lots of enemy armor. We're headed towards the town you mentioned earlier, but there were enemies waiting to ambush us. Leader Groza took took the dolls out to intercept them, and she said she would blow up the road on the side. So they saw through it, huh? Can you contact Rosa? No, I can't. Leader and the others haven't been responding since just now. Do you think they're in danger? I'll go back them up. You keep driving the ammo and don't stop for anything. Got that? I got it, Commander. Please bring back Leader and Leader Groza and the others. Leave it to me. I put down the handset and returned to the passenger cabin. I look around at the adults holding their weapons and ammo. Then I begin handing out combat assignments. Diane, Jangyu, Zuchhero, and Sentaresi, you'll be forming a squad to assist and relieve Groza's team. You already know who Groza is? The other 3 members of the team are a doll with bunny ears, a doll with purple cape, and a doll with a Mr. Pizza's backpack. You should be able to recognize them at a glance. Don't get stuck with the enemy. Find them and bring them back to the chopper ASAP. Understood. We'll take care of it, Commander. Time to show you the power of an elite doll, Commander. Governor, you're in charge of protecting Melanie. Do not leave her side for a moment. Yep. Are you alright with that, Melanie? I'm okay. Alright, prepare to move out. I head back to the cockpit, instructing Sharky to overfly the firefight. Once we're above it, I point out a largely intact building, and Sharky immediately picks up on what I want and descends. Let's go. Sentaresi and Diane open the hatches on the respective sides of the chopper, and ferocious downward screams from the outside. The dolls stand by the open doors, while Kovnum shields Melanie from the howling winds with her body. The helicopter nears the target building. The dolls jump out when it's roughly 10 meters above the roof. Haha, time for a Griffin airdrop. Watch this, Pixis. Jangyu does a magnificent flip in mid-air before touching down. Diane, who's touched down alongside her, glances at her sister before approaching her. Be careful, Jangyu. We're in a combat zone now. But that's what I want. It feels just like the old times. So this is what you used to do. No wonder you're always so restless. Why, you jelly? Ladies of Monsoon, let's head out. Pardon us, Miss Sentaresi. Let's go. The doll started the building, and the helicopter pulls up again as it heads towards the mountain of the mouth of the pass. Looks like it's about time. From the co-pilot seat, I see multiple IFVs working their way through the town area. They're driving single file towards the Alamo. The perfect opportunity for us. Shakri, target the road and blow out all those IFVs to scrap. Will do. The helicopter adjusts its position as it hovers, then plunges for a strafing run. Rockets scream out of the rocket pods in rapid succession, and explosions erupt to the length of the roads, turning the IFVs into burning wrecks. Groza feels a frame hit the ground hard with a dull thud. In the wake of the deafening explosions, the wall of the pass crumble and the ruined buildings nearby collapse, engulfing the fleeing Mangi security troopers. She can hear the screams, she can see the mangled remains of humans that have been blasted into gory chunks, and she can feel the hot blood raining down on her. But wait a minute. Didn't she just... Groza thinks back about what she was doing before she found herself collapsed on the ground. Do dolls feel like this after they blow themselves up? It doesn't seem any different from normal. She recalled a time when scientific advancement in this world was still limited, and humans believed that after death they would become something called ghosts, entities left behind after one's death. Then is she some kind of data ghost now? Groza lies motionless, trying to clear her head. In her recollection, she was preparing to press the button on her detonator, but then the IFV before her suddenly exploded and the massive shockwave sent her flying. Groza looks down at her right hand. The detonator is still there, but she did not press it. Then what was that explosion just now? Before she could think about it, the sound of more gunfire and explosions come from the other side of the rubble. Looks like the opposition hasn't given up yet. They're trying to blast a hole in the debris fallen rock blocking the path, so the troopers outside can get inside and continue fighting. Once again, there's another deafening explosion. Rocks and debris fly everywhere, and the blocked passage shows signs of clearing. Another one, and the rubble blocking the path is completely blown away. She can hear the Mangi troopers approaching, so close that she can see their grey helmets through the breach. Is this the end? No, not yet. Bullets suddenly fly past her, accurately striking the Mangi troopers in her head. Shocked, Groza looks back and sees the dolls rushing out of the smoke and running to her side. Miss Groza, are you alright? Are you the reinforcements sent by the commander? Miss Groza, do you not remember me? Yes, I am. Master sent me to help you withdraw. Where are the other dolls? They're behind me, fighting in the streets. They're engaged with the enemy. They need backup. Understood. Miss Diane, please take the Monsoon Squad and reinforce the other dolls. I'll help evacuate Miss Groza. Understood. We'll leave things to you on this side to you. Please don't stay still, Miss Groza. You've sustained severe damage to your frame. I'll drag you out of here. Nemesis, what happened to your cover fire? Departure. Lost and hidden friends. What do you mean you ran out of ammo? And now of all times? Get it together already. Are there dolls approaching us from over there? They're fast. Are they enemies? Don't shoot, we're friendlies. Are you dolls from the Elmo? Yes, we are. We're from Monsoon Squad. The commander sent us back to back you up. We'll be covering your withdrawal. So the command sent you, but the leader's still out there. Our teammate will bring her back. Let's take care of the enemies in front of us first, shall we? Sounds great. That river looks unhealthy. You think? Time to give those bastards the spanking. Words. Again, the combat itself will actually be very easy. Because, well... I kind of want to see if I could show you the waddling of that robot this time. But at the same time, I need to kill 5 enemies. And the way that they're lined up right now, it doesn't kill him. Kill him. Bye bye. Not so sure the doll who just sat in it should be allowed on the ammo for at least a few centuries. Hang on. I'm gonna set it to 3 times speed for a very specific reason. Look at the little robot. Look at him go! And look, they've lined up again. How nice of them. The red-haired woman anxiously studies the message on the screen, not even realizing that her cigarette has almost burned itself out. Half of the RVs she sent into the town have been destroyed. The other have been wedged outside the fallen rocks and rubble. Meanwhile, there's a ceaseless stream of casualty reports from the Omen forces. Just now, the dolls that jumped out of the helicopter had completely eliminated any chance she had of wiping out those encircled dolls. The helicopter had shown up with incredible timing and practically destroyed the entire deployment in an instant. Could it be that the fleeing MBV had only been a decoy? Was she the one being ambushed all along? The confidence she had started with crumbles in an instant, and Lentine can't help but wonder if there's a bigger trap waiting for her behind all this. Any other person would probably not be able to do it, but you can't even begin to imagine what kind of strategies that man who came back from Frankfurt can employ. Lentine's underestimation of him has already cost her dearly, and right now she knows that her only choice is no choice at all. Contact all squads, have to begin withdrawing. Load up the dead and wounded where possible and return to your muster points. But we can still fight. We still have those dolls surrounded. And what if they have more dolls lying in wait for us? But we still have a perimeter lockdown mission ahead of us. We can't lose any more men. Bring everyone back now. Yes, ma'am. Damn it. Kenny angrily punches his seat before leaving the IFV. He doesn't look back. It's only now that Lentine notices the burning pain in her fingertips. She clicks her tongue and drops the cigarette butt. Its lingering heat scorches a black-etched circle on the intelligence report lying on the floor of the vehicle. Lentine picks it up, preparing to throw the pages that made her lose so much out of the vehicle. However, her hand stops halfway, and Lentine instead throws the report back on the ground. It's a strange feeling in her heart. It's been there for a full 10 years, appearing in her dreams, showing up whenever she doubted herself, forcing her to find all kinds of excuses for actions in order to get it under control. As it is, she can no longer hold it back. The feeling that utterly denies all the choices she has made. An emotion that completely crushes her soul into the dirt. How? How is it that he can still beat me, even after falling so far? Why would he give up on everything even when he's this capable? It makes no sense. She has to ask him and find the answer to that question. Fantine grabs a gun and stands up, throwing open the IFV's hatch. She clenches her fist, driving a nail so deeply into her palm that blood begins welling up and dripping from her hands. It shouldn't. Things shouldn't be this way. Come on, load up. Monsoon Squad brings the Elmo dolls onto the roof of a nearby building. As the helicopter slowly touches down, I open the hatch so the dolls can rush inside. Diane and the others bring Krolik, Vepley, and Nemesis with them into the helicopter, which makes the passenger compartment feel a little cramped. Zahui and Zhanghu reflexively takes up positions on the edges of the cabin, guns raised and scanning their surroundings. Commander, where did you get all these people from? They're old friends. Where's Groza? Miss Santaresi said she was helping to evacuate Groza. I look down, but there's no sign of them. I pick up the handset and and hail Santaresi. Santaresi, where are you two? Master, Miss Groza is badly hurt. The enemy caught up to us and we are trying to hold them off. Find a way to indicate your location. Got it. I hear magazine change over the transmission. Shortly afterwards, I see a stream of tracer rounds hurtle into the sky. I immediately point in that direction and order Sharkry to dust off. Once we reach the area above the tracers, I can clearly make out Santaresi and Groza fighting off the enemy from behind cover. Zhangyu and Zaiha immediately rake the enemy support weapons with gunshots and suppressive fire from the distance to ease us off. Santaresi looks up at the helicopter and takes advantage of the lull in the shooting to grab Groza and head for the nearest roof. Wah! A pair of missiles fly towards the helicopter, but fortunately Sharkry has been slowly orbiting the side and dodges them. Diane moves up to the doorway and joins the other doll, suppressing the source of those rockets. Meanwhile, I get Sharkry to rapidly descend and get as close to the building's edge as possible. Just as the helicopter levels out, Santaresi appears on the roof, carrying Groza. She widens her step and picks up speed, jumping off the roof with Groza. The two of them slam into the helicopter like a cannonball. Also, great art. Fortunately, the other dolls help them soften the impact. Diane helps Santaresi lay Groza on the cabin floor, while Zhangyu immediately closes the hatch. Seeing that everyone is aboard, Sharkry immediately climbs into the air, beating a hasty retreat while being pursued by more rockets. The helicopter flies towards the Elmo. Fortunately, the roof landing pad isn't too badly damaged. Sharkry lands the chopper on the Elmo. The adults dismount, waiting for further instructions. I look into the distance. The Elmo's clear of that ruined town, and the enemy shows no intention of continuing the pursuit. I sigh in relief, then turn my attention back to the dolls. Groza's frame is riddled with shrapnel. Krolik and Nemesis are carefully unloading her from the helicopter. Groza, are you alright? I'm fine. I'm sorry. I almost failed to complete my mission. It's my fault for coming back late. Don't speak. You need repairs. Groza nods and closes her eyes. I hear the chime of a hangar elevator nearby, and Mei Ling rushes out as the door opens. Commander! Leader, are you okay? Groza shakes her head but does not respond. Mei Ling, you've done a great job. Now I need you to do a little more... Got it. I'll start fixing Leader right now. With Mei Ling urging them on, Krolik and Nemesis help Groza to the repair bay. Will Leader really be alright? I hope it's just surface level damage. I'll have to wait for Mei Ling to finish running diagnostics. Speaking of diagnostics, why don't you give Melanie a checkup? Hang on, let me just quickly pause the ad break. After that, we can get a room to rest in. Alright, come with me, okay, Melanie? Melanie glances at me, then immediately follows Carpenter down the stairs. I have Vepley give the other dolls a tour of the Elmo, which also includes performing a damage assessment of the stricken areas. I head back to the ops room. Thanks to the recent attack, it's a total mess. Glass panels have been broken and fragments are everywhere. I can't help but sigh as I think about how the Elmo had just been repaired not long ago, only for it to be reduced to this state once again. I sit back or down on my chair. Who would have thought so many things would have happened in the course of just one day? The hitherto silent Dandegate flies above my head once again. Dandelion's smug voice rings out from above me. What an exciting day this was, Commander! Does it remind you of your Griffin days? Can't help but be reminded of them. I reach up to grab the Dandegate above my head, but it nimbly evades my grasp. The Dandegate flies before me and projects Dandelion's face again. She's yawning and stretching lazily. So, were the day's events a coincidence that you arranged to? How could that be? The only coincidence I arranged for you was to meet Monsoon and Zuchhero. But then you ended up rewriting the script in your own way. I had nothing to do with the encounter of that underground lab, the fight with monkey security, or that girl. Oh, really? Anyway, about that data that you found in the underground lab, have you learned anything yet? I found a piece of information before we left the range of the signal marker network. As it turns out, there has been a string of missing persons and cultist activity cases filed with the police departments of the various major districts and nearby satellite cities. So far, I've read through 800 plus reports, over 13,000 pictures, 46 videos, and the material involves over 1,000 people. Right now, I'm trying to analyze similarities and sort them to see if I can find any clues. However, the reports are highly disorganized, and they are signs of systematic internal tampering in addition to the confusing information. What? So give me a little more time, okay? It's only been half a day. Even I can't digest it all at once. The rest will all just have to wait until my connection to the signal marker network is restored. However, there seems to be some similarities between the experiment you found and what Hyde 44 is investigating. Perhaps I might be able to give you a lead to follow. I trust you haven't forgotten them yet? How could I ever? Lena assigned you to go pick them up, right? Groves and the others were attacked on the road to get them. They are probably the same people as the ones who attacked 404. That's my guess too. According to the PMC registration database, Mangi Security is supposed to be a small independent company with less than 100 employees to the name. Looks like the Nonthal must have messed up really badly if they managed to overlook a company with this level of equipment and manpower. I'll tell Kalin about this afterwards. However, we've been cut off since just now. We can't contact anyone, be it they 4-4 or Lena. The enemy's smart. They need to destroy the signal markers. However, I doubt this will pose a problem for 4-4. You mean... I mean something like this. Dandelion points to the ops room's main terminal. Suddenly, it buzzes with a comms request. I glance at Dandelion, and then I warily put it through. Hey, looks like you finally got through. Man, it sure was hard fixing a signal marker with a hardware this old. Man, Kalukai would have killed me if I didn't fix it. Just thinking about it scares me. For a moment, I'm not sure how to answer. There's a look of doubt on my face as I listen to the voice on the line. No response? Ah, hello? Can you hear me? I'm connected, right? You haven't forgotten who I am, have you, Commander? There's a brief burst of noise. The window dissolves into static and then clears up. There's a man with his back to the camera. He seems to be banging on something. There's a burst of sparks, then the man throws his wrench aside and slowly turns around. As he does, the man's face is revealed by the cold light of the overhead fluorescent lamps. Wait a minute. Is that you, dear? Or dear? God damn it. Now I wonder where Sierra is. Considering the fact that I already had to pause the ad break cycle for one time, I'm going to quickly run an ad break, go to the bathroom, grab myself something new to drink. I'll be right back. Enjoy the ad break. Yippee. I yet again forgot to tap back into the game. Like the smart person that I am. So you were sitting here in utter silence. Bitter thorns and daisies. Smart man. The exact opposite. Thank you for the ad-bats. Outside the Elmo's windows, a sandy gust of wind speeds through the darkened sky. There are no helicopters here or nauseating monsters. The end of Sanda is clean as though nothing had ever happened. The helicopter slowly lands on the Elmo. The doors open the hatch and jump down from the chopper, while the air follows them behind them as he touches down on the Elmo. After receiving the air's distress signal, Zentaresi took Diane and the others to the beacon station where the air was. As per previous comms, I learned that he had come to offer assistance after 4-4 had gone missing, but by the time he had arrived at the location, he found out that the signal markers in the region had been destroyed, and the monkey security had seized control of all the roads leading in and out. In the end, he became trapped here. Fortunately, Len had given him the Elmo's comms code, so he managed to contact us after fixing a signal marker. We didn't encounter any enemies signal the signal marker. The helicopter returned to the Elmo after taking the airboard. The dolls returned to the repair bay to rest, while the air came to the upstream. I give him a quick once-over and can't help but feel unfamiliar with his look. What's wrong, Commander? Why are you looking at me like that? Well, it is actually quite simple, dear. Because there's two very specific looks that we are used to. There's two ways that we know you look. And it is very important that I show them off. For a very specific reason. That is a terrible image. No, wrong. Do 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 do. I think I want to check something. Okay, no, there's no downloads. I've been having some weird issues today with my internet speed. It's been a bit whack. Hello? Load? My god, it's really slow today. What the hell is going on? For one, this is deer. Or deer. The reason why that is important is quite simple. Because while this is deer, this too is deer. uh... They've really made him look a lot older and manly. Well, it's been a long time since I last saw you. I didn't expect you to grow up like this. Well, I am human after all. I'll look that different from dolls. We grow up fast. Got a haircut. No, there's more than just a haircut. I don't know if you got to look at what I just showed, but ever since the Division collaboration event for Girls Online, the internal joke is the fact that he's a cross-dressing femboy. And it's never stopped. It's just never stopped. That's just his reputation now. Yes, of course I know that. That said, what's more interesting is that you're still helping out Squad 4-4. There were times when I asked myself why I'm even putting myself through all this crap. Of it in the last decade. I don't know if the community will like that. But hey, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? And besides, I heard that the Elmo would be helping them out, and I always wanted to take a look around the Elmo. Now I just wonder where Sia is, which is his sister. Is this thing really that interesting? Of course it is. After all, it's a cutting-edge IoP product. Had to be a... I have no basis to, like, no reference to base that on. So, you know. The final glory of the NSU's heavy industry. A one-of-a-kind model whose like will never be seen again. Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. Honestly, you don't even know how valuable this thing is, do you, Commander? All I know is that thanks to its workshop builds, I'll have trouble just getting enough water to drink as it is. Hey, you get what you pay for. Would you mind if I upgraded the comm system over here? Be my guest. I step aside and Dia takes out a bunch of strange devices before starting to work on the command console. After some banging and fiddling, I see a screen on the console's monitor that I've never seen before. What is this? I upgraded the Elmo's comms systems and also set up a temporary encrypted comms channel. I'm sure there were cases in the past where your transmissions were leaked to the outside world, right? Why do you ask? Lena told me about it. She said that after Miss Kalina found out that the non-plus comms had been cracked and by others on multiple occasions, she told 404 about it and asked them to improve their signal encryption. Lever felt that relying on an encrypted channel alone was pointless, so not only did she boost the encryption on all their communications, she also installed a honey trap in 404's information systems. Any visitors who haven't been invited by 404 will receive a special surprise for them. Unfortunately, the upgraded technology still hasn't managed to catch that visitor who turned up so many times before. The encrypted comms channel I set up here is similar to the one Squad 404 is using now. This way, we can better ensure the data security between both sides. If that's the case, Kalina had best upgrade on her end too. Well, about that, I don't dare to mess around lightly when things on non-plus end. Although, I think that's where the biggest hole in security is. So, you think the non-plus is problematic? Like, it would be strange if a government organization of that level didn't have loopholes, right? I fall silent for a while and don't respond to Dia's words. In principle, I trust Kalina unconditionally, but she's part of the non-fur, and I can't make up my mind about them right away. After some thought, I decided to change the subject. Oh yes, you were saying that Lena asked you to come over. Yep. Earlier, Kluka mentioned having trouble getting network signal, so Lena sent me over to help troubleshoot things for her. At first, I thought it was just a standard mission, so I took my family helicopter over to and paid for transportation and tools myself. Now that I think about it, Kluka really is stingy. Too stingy. So you entered the yellow zone all by yourself. Well, the danger level for this base wasn't high, and my truck had good specs, so the Viegas had trouble catching up. I thought I could just find a signal marker, drop off an enhanced base station, and be done with it, but it turns out every single marker I encountered along the way was completely destroyed. The only one whose internals I could even begin to repair was the last one. After that, I found out the way back was completely controlled by Mangi forces. I figured that they'd shoot me full of holes first, even if I tried to go back. Luckily I met you, Commander, otherwise I'd have been totally screwed. Family helicopter. Well, the reason for the family helicopter is very simple. Because they don't come from a wealthy family. But they are the personal mechanics of Squad 4-4. So, they kind of get a shitload of money from just working for them. Because remember, Squad 4-4 is a Black Ops operation. Or Black Ops squad, rather. That gets exorbitant amounts of money every time they get a mission. Saying so, DF fiddles with the console interface and rescans for new transmission channels. The moment the rescan finishes, a shining point immediately appears on the screen. What's this? It's a transmission base station. It's broadcasting right now. Can I connect to it? Yes, do it now. They sure milked the commander for it. They sure fucking did. Dia connects to the transmission. A rapid, loud voice speaks over the channel. 3,762nd Platoon of the 7th Environmental Survey Corps. We have emergency and need support. I repeat, we need support. Survey Corps? Aren't those the forces that 4-4 are working with? Can we communicate with them? No, there's no response. This is an audio clip on a loop broadcast. Can we backtrace the signal then? Sure we can. Alright, location confirmed. They're not far away. I pick up my terminal and contact Centaresi. Master? Sentaresi, I have a new assignment for you. Get ready to full battle along with Monsoon Squad and meet in the hangar. Understood? Preparing now. I have DS sent the coordinates to the dolls and look out at the night sky as dark and mysterious... look out at the night sky as dark and as mysterious as this mission. This might be our break in finding Hydefall 4. Okay. Is it? Okay, I was about to say, is it just those three? No, it's not. Also, I really can't wait until the next doll comes out, because it's Klukai. I know it doesn't transcend that. You go there and do that. You motherfucker reminded me of that good Forsaken song. It's awful. It's so bad. Genuinely. At New Year's, I was playing a game with my friends and my parents. Hang on, I'm about to sneeze. Well, you had to guess the release dates of songs just by hearing them. And you didn't know what song was gonna play. You were just scanning a QR code and would just start playing the song. And at one point, you scanned the code, and it was just, fuck off. Like, 2012, or like 2008 or something. It was like... Everyone was really confused, like, why are you so mad about that? Because it's a fucking awful song that I had to play, and then, like, 10 seconds later they understood, because it takes a moment for the song to get going. And it's ass. It's awful. I hate it. It's so bad. I don't recognize the intro. I immediately recognized it because it was so awfully overplayed at the time. At the same time, remember, I keep saying I have an annoyingly good memory about certain things. What the fuck are you doing? Paddy's dead. Bang. Why the fuck would you fire your grenade launcher into the sky? Are you an idiot? I mean, you know what? Santaresi, throw a knife at him. Can't confirm that. I'm not quite sure what you mean with you can confirm that. That the enemy's an idiot? And like 10 seconds of song playing, it doesn't... Is that what's printing you for the war game? That is true, yes. There was a thing where, way back when I used to listen to a lot more electronic music rather than what I listen to nowadays. And I would recognize songs by the very first beat. Just instantly. No. No, different thing. Lady Casimir was streaming and a song started playing. I was like, hey, that's the intro to Medal of Honor, isn't it? Yes, it was. The helicopter takes off from the Alamo. I decide to head over to the repair bay while waiting for news. I leave the ops room after telling the damn gate to keep an eye on the Alamo status and the surroundings. On that note, for people that might want to sometimes watch very chill Escape from Tarkov PvE mode stuff, with no voice but only some music playing in the background, go for Lady Casimir. Just chill. Also, quick note, I find personally very funny. It seems that over the duration of today's stream, I have lost one follower. I don't know why. I leave I've already read that. DF follows me down too. When we enter the repair bay, we see Mei Ling performing the final adjustments on Groza, while the other dolls keep her company. Nah, come on, are you here? Yep, thanks. Milling says things are okay, but just now, leader... Krolik immediately shuts up when she realizes what's going on and pushes Nemesis and Vepley out of the room. Right, we're going to go check on the rest of the Elmo. You guys have a good chat, Commander. After the dolls leave the room, Groza sits up on the diagnostic slab. Groza, are you alright? Commander, I'm fine. Thank you for sending help. Yeah, things were really close out there. Mailing, how was Leah's frame? I was startled when I first saw her, but when I ran my diagnostic I realized there weren't that many penetrating injuries. Fortunately, most of the wounds were caused by shrapnel. While it caused a certain amount of damage to her limbs, we can fix them with the replacement parts. That's good to hear. After seeing that Groza's alright, I managed to calm down at last. I step aside to make room for Dier, then I introduce him to Groza and Mei Ling. This is Mei Ling. She's the Elmo's chief engineer. Groza is the leader of the Elmo's Doll Squad. Dier nods to them. Mei Ling returns a nod, a little timidly. And this is Dier. I guess you could call him Force. Just call me Force Technician. I'll do everything I can to help you out during the upcoming operation. Nice to meet you. Oh, alright. Groza nods to Dier. For some reason, Groza seems to be acting strangely. Suddenly, Dier's eyes lights up and he excitedly rushes over to the slab behind Groza. Puzzled, I follow his movements with my eyes and see him practically skip over to where Sexton's is lying. Sexton's frame has been badly damaged. Just about all her exposed skin has been destroyed, and her body is also badly deformed. You even have a third-generation doll? You know this is a third-gen doll? Of course I do. It's the latest tech developed by all our conglomerate. Even the core collaborator companies who are working on it need to wait in line for 6 months just to look at the relevant files. I can't believe you've gotten so rich and powerful after not seeing you for so long, Commander. Oh, I just picked it up by accident. By accident? A third-generation doll costs as much as a skyscraper. And that's just the financial cost alone. This isn't the sort of problem you can solve with money. Well, it's a long story. We fought her during a previous mission, and then she suddenly showed up near the Elmo. We dragged on board after we smacked her around for a bit. Do you think you actually managed to beat a monster of that level? Looks like you've been lying about your combat strength, Commander. Well, not really. There seemed to be something wrong with her when we ran into her. Both her perceptions and memories were confused. Maybe you could help me take a look at that? Happy to help. Still, in her current state, well, the materials for repairing her would cost an astronomical sum. I cough to hide my awkwardness. Is there a cheap way to do it? Cost aside, the main problem is that my understanding of a third-generation doll is surface level at best. Frankly speaking, I don't have much confidence in doing it. Well, you've got a chance now. Yeah, I think so too. Well, since I've got a chance to take a crack at this, don't mind if I do. The air pulls out his toolbox and produces a plethora of instruments I've never seen before. After plugging all manner of cables into Sexton's access ports, Dia's instruments begin to flash and make noises. It's a mess in there. Junk code and bad sectors everywhere. Her brain was pretty much mush when we met her. Upon seeing that we're discussing Sextons, Mei Ling helps Groza off the slab and walks over to me. While you weren't around, Leader tried hacking into a neurocloud to gather information. Why did you take that risk? Her firewalls were down, so I judged that hacking into her would not pose any risks. I see. So, did you make any progress? The neurocloud was a mess when I hacked in. My guess is that it was severely damaged by a fusion experiment. I tried connecting to a level 3 base layer and learned some things. Apparently, someone ran an experiment on her and deliberately destroyed her. However, her internal files were too badly damaged and I couldn't make out any details. I see. Dear, I need the information in our neurocloud. Please help me fix the neurocloud as best as you can. Why did you ask for the moon while you're at it? Dear takes another little electronic device and hooks it up to several small cables from Sexton's head. After a while, the connections crackle and throw sparks, even setting the device Dear is holding on fire. Short circuit. How is it? Like what Leader Groza said. Someone wrecked this third-gen doll's neurocloud, almost to the point of complete destruction. Whoever did it targeted all the vital and irrecoverable parts of the neurocloud. See, although her frame structure is still largely intact, it's almost inoperable. It's kind of like a neurosurgeon went and severed linkages in the human brain. There aren't many destroyed nodes, but the neurocloud module is pretty much a write-off. Also, it seems her body... Dear narrows his eyes and carefully studies an almost destroyed portion of Sexton's epidermal layer. Something wrong? No. Still, why would anyone make a doll frame out of this? Pretty imaginative, I have to say. Is there any material you haven't seen before? Well, it's not like I haven't seen it before. Just never thought anyone would make a frame out of it. Get to the point. What is it? Dia thinks for a moment, then reaches into its toolbox and takes out something looks like a microscope. He looks for a place in Sexton's body then sets it up and calls me over. Here, Commander. Take a look. What is this? It looks like some kind of biological tissue, or rather, some kind of cells? Looks like someone was trying to fuse this doll's frame material with some kind of cell. That's a little surprising. The cells don't look very active. Looks like the fusion didn't work. I think about what Dia's saying, and I suddenly sense someone staring at me. When I turn around, I suddenly notice a little figure standing in the doorway. There's a pitter-patter of footsteps, and then Kovner appears from the doorway as well, grabbing the arm of the little figure. Melanie, what are you doing here? There's something here. Melanie? Upon hearing my words, Melanie reflexively backs away. So, you adopted a daughter as well? Looks like it's... Look, it's a really long story. Hi. Hello, Melanie. Melanie backs away even further. Do I really look that scary? Governor, what were the results of our checkup? Melanie's vital signs are all stable. Too stable, in fact. Melanie ignores the exchange between Kovner and me. She raises her hand and points to the doll behind me before addressing me directly. I want to see that doll. That doll. I'll point to Sexton's. You mean her? Melanie nods. Sure, I guess. Melanie approaches us. Suddenly a chill runs down my spine and my hand reflexively reaches for my gun at my waist. Upon realizing what I'm doing, I quickly turn aside so she doesn't see me and fold my arms across my chest. She walks up to Sexton and looks up and down. Finally, her gaze settles on the position where we discover the signs of cellular fusion. Knew it. Knew what? Have you seen her before? No, this one, but she looks a lot like the ones I saw before. She also has signs of this fusion. Melanie's words makes me stiffen up. Do you know what these signs of fusion are? They're from Boojum extracts. They show signs like this after fusion. Boojum cell structures. Hang on. Cell activity has suddenly increased. Dia quickly checks on Sexton's condition. Groza walks up in front of me and reflexively takes up a defensive position, while Kafka pulls Mei Ling and Melanie away. Be careful, Commander. Logically speaking, the chances of a cell repairing like this should be vanishingly low, but the characteristics of Boojum cells might actually end up coming into play here. Self-repair, huh? So a doll who can self-repair, and a third-gen doll at that. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like she's recovering faster than expected. And NeuroCloud is rebooting. The bad side is actually accepting connections. Dia stares incredulously at the instruments he's holding, while Groza warily raises a gun and points it at Sexton's while she's shouting to Kovner. Get Mei Ling and that girl out of here! Okay. Kovner drags Mei Ling and Melanie outside. Melanie keeps looking back as she goes. After Kovner closes the door behind her, I return my attention to Sexton's. Can you repair NeuroCloud backup with logs while we're at it? I'm doing it right now. Reboot successful. Local NeuroCloud backup activated. Backup failed. Reboot successful. Local cloud backup activated. Now connecting to remote database. Remote database connection failed. Rebooting in local mode. System online. Now loading affiliation data. Affiliation ID failed. Sexton opens her eyes but remains still. She looks at me, eyes filled with confusion. Are you my master? Your master. Sexton walks towards me and extends a hand. I reflexively reach out to take it, but Groza blocks me. Commander, she poses a huge threat. You mustn't lower your guard. Dia quickly works on his instruments, and then he suddenly chuckles. Commander, looks like you might actually become a new master. What do you mean? Well, her affiliation and authorization data have been completely cleared out, and the systems are back to the default state. If you like, you can take ownership of her. Does that mean anything? Of course it does. That way you can easily retrieve those neurologs if you wanted. I mean, the only human here who can do this is you, right, Commander? I glance at Groza. She doesn't look at me. Her gun is still trained on Sexton's. If it will aid your mission, then you should assume ownership of her. Oh? I nod, and Dia immediately begins tapping away on his touchscreen. Sexton's eyes briefly flash. Soon, Dia puts his instruments down and confidently addresses me. Done. She won't regard you guys as enemies anymore, and her NeuroCloud is reconstructing itself. Also, I found something neat. Something neat? He has an IFF key in a database. Do you know what that means? Are you saying that anything the key regards as friendly is actually an enemy to us? That's right. See, all the combat logs from nearby have been transmitted to a neurocloud. My guess is that these friendly coordinates show movements of Mangi security forces. There's no other PMC with so many guys in the shitty part of the Yellow Zone. So the third-gen dolls are also linked to Mangi security. I mean, that much is obvious, right? Third-gen dolls were the product of the conglomerate to begin with. Yeah. So if we have a more precise location for Hide 4, we can use sextants to backtrace them through Mangi security positions. I nod. Then my terminal suddenly rings. Commander, do you read me? Loud and clear, go ahead. We found the coordinates, and we ran into a small detachment of Mangi security personnel. They were few in number, and we have already eliminated them. We found a couple of Survey Corps troopers during the firefight. One perished, and the other is very badly wounded. Can you send him back on the Elmwood for treatment? His wounds are severe, and we cannot move him easily. Miss Diane is administering first aid, but... Diane, what's his trooper's condition? His bleeding isn't stopping. At this rate, he won't last long. Are you dolls? Let me speak with your commander. Master, patch him in. Will do. We're from the 3,762nd Platoon of the 7th Environmental Survey Corps. We're bounty hunters who were passing by and picked up your distress signal. Can you tell me what happened to you? Thank you. While carrying out our mission, we encountered many elites and enemies from an unknown faction. They destroyed all signal markers nearby. I knew it. While we were setting up a signal base station, we were attacked by mercenaries from Mangi security. Our mission can't end with us. For the sake of our brothers. Please stay still. You're in critical condition. I know I'm conscripting your dolls in the name of the 7th Survey Corps. Please head to our position and provide backup. Our main force has been surrounded. If you help, I'm sure the First Sergeant will reward you well. Understood. We will help you. Thank you. Hang in there. Don't give up. Remember, you promise. Commander, he's not breathing. Santaresi, please bury them. Let them rest in peace. Also bring the dog tags back to the Elmo. Alright. I end the transmission and sigh heavily. I guess that things would turn out this way, but I still can't but feel a little sad for these soldiers. DM, you said Hide 4 was accompanying the Survey Corps, right? That's what Kluke said, yes. So the base stations that they struggle to build should be nearby. Have Sextons prepared to backtrace them. Groza, take remaining dolls. Use Sextons as a guide to find Hide 4. Understood. We have to find them. We can't waste what those soldiers spent their lives to protect. And now for the last chapter. Of the last part. Signal decryption. We hurry back to the ops room. Dia heads to the comms hub and begins connecting the equipment. Can you find 4-4's location with the base station? I'm trying, but my guess is that it's not too likely. The base station might be mil-spec hardware, but Mangi Security already knows it exists, so in addition to sending people to destroy it, they'll increase their efforts in jamming its signal. The communications hub emits a signal loss tone, validating Dia's thinking. Didn't work like I expected. Still, there might be hope if we can use Sextons to help. Hang on. Dia crawls under the command terminal and begins installing some extra equipment. Meanwhile, I use this time to contact Santaresi. Santaresi, how are things now? We've buried the soldiers. The base station seems to be running normally. Right. Spread out and establish a defense line. Now that Mangi knows they've failed, they'll send more people over to counterattack. You must ensure the base station is secure. Understood? Master, we won't disappoint you. Dia emerges from under the command terminal and taps several locations on the touchscreen, whereupon the menus begin to change. Right. I copied over the frequency settings from the military base station. This way the Elmo can use it as a relay to search for nearby Mangi security signals. Well done. Groza, do you read me? Go ahead, Commander. Connect to Sexton's level 2 and see if you can find any treasure. Got it. Working now. Go to answer transmission. Soon Sexton's IFF key is transmitted to the Elmo systems. This military base station has great coverage. Now, for the nearby signal traces... Ugh. What's wrong? The good news is this IFF key is really effective. It's picking up traces of every single position Mangi forces have been to. The bad news is it's picking up traces of every single position Mangi forces have been to, so they're all over the map. I look at the map after signal analysis has been done. Our surroundings are covered in red dots. Looks like they really were earning their paychecks. Let's think about this from a different angle. Look for signal traces belonging to the highest ranking combat contacts among those. Dia gets my meaning. He nods and immediately begins working on the task. Got it. There are two sets of signal traces corresponding to highly encrypted wavelengths. The first was active between half a month to 1 day ago, while the other suddenly appeared a day ago. Looks like we found them. Can we try to pinpoint the signal location? One moment. Nope. It looks like they're using a different communications network from the rest of Mangi security. We can't obtain the exact location with Sexton's permission. However, if we can use Sexton's permissions to connect to that network and crack the firewall, we might be able to see the location. That said, it'll probably take a full day to crack it with the Elmo's current equipment. I'll just start by trying to crack it. The begins his work. Like I said, the progress bar on the monitor is crawling along. I sink into thought. Then I suddenly think of something and look towards the Dander Gate. Stay down the line, isn't cracking your forte? You're terrible, Commander. You only want me for my crypto analysis. It's enough to make me cry. I'm sorry, can you help us out? Well, like that boy said, the Elmo systems don't support cracking. As for me, my processing power is limited to that of this tiny Dander Gate. Have you forgotten that all the signal markers are destroyed and my connection to the outside world has been severed? Ah, Commander, look at this. Dia suddenly exclaims and I look at the command terminal screen. The opposition signal security level has suddenly fallen. Dia begins tapping on the screen before I can tell him to. Wait, they voluntarily lowered their own security level. There's a chance now. They lowered it. Did they encounter 404, so they lowered their security level to be compatible with 404 security channels? That means we don't have much time to do this given our current speed. The progress bar visibly picks up speed, but the estimated completion time shows that the operation will still take close to an hour to finish. Damn it, we're still too slow. The Dander flies up to the screen and its mono eye flashes. Then Dandelion projects her image and smiles smugly as she speaks to me. Well, if they lower the security to this level, I might be able to do something about it. However, I can't handle an encrypted signal of this level alone. Tell me, what do you need? You know me so well, Commander. Can I borrow those cute little dolls of yours? You're not going to do anything dangerous, are you? Relax, I'll turn them all in one piece after I'll return them all in one piece after I'm done. I'll set myself up as the relay, so even if the offensive barrier triggers, I'll be the only one to melt down. Well, have I allayed your concerns? I eye the Dander Gate dubiously and then contact Groza. Soon, processing power reaches the command system. The Dander Gate purchased on the command terminal and begins to work. Looks like there were offensive barriers after all. Time for me to show what I can do. Everyone, I need you to focus on your forces on the weakest part of the enemy protocol. I'll assist you from the outside and keep you from being contaminated by the enemy data. If we're ready, then let's go. Super Dander Gate. There really isn't many enemies. You know what? Let's grab Orders, because Order can kill a few of them in one turn. You might even one-turn them. Doo-doo-doo. First and foremost, kill these two. Donk. Second of all, you go and slice and dice these small fucks. One. And a two. And a 3. Okay, put you in Overwatch mode. Doesn't really matter. Because I don't think that then the last enemy can get close enough to shoot us anyway. Actually, that thing's still alive. Wild. Doesn't count as an actual enemy unit. But it's there, I guess. You know what? Fuck it. Trigger the heal, because why the fuck not? Doesn't... That's a lot of healing. That's a lot of healing. I like the mecha hounds. Just kind of... Unfortunately, it does now. Be gone, hound. Oh, surely you can kill that. What's about to say? I have no idea what that orange marker is. Square Roombas. It's cute. It is cute. I love it. Genuinely. Bop. Win. Connect to the channel. The system indicates that the cracking was successful, and the air begins eavesdropping on them. After some crackling noises, a couple of voices are clearly audible on the channel. I'm here now. Belka, destroy the amplifier. 4-4, cut our comms now. That's Lucas' voice. So they've encountered each other already. What should we do? Should we contact 4-4? No can do. And they've gone silent, and using a manga frequency to establish comms would be too risky. Can we obtain the position from the transmission just now? Sure can. Right, send to Groza. Belka? The nuke shelters now. Fun fact, 417, or G28, is called Belka in this game. So that's who they're referring to. The jokes have been made already. Like, plenty. When she released on Chinese servers, the jokes were all over the place. Because we found an approximate location for 4-4. Sending it over now. Head there ASAP. Also take seconds with you. Use it to correct your course along the way. Must we? She can perform course corrections from aboard the Elmo. The opposition's permissions outrank Sextons, so it might be another third-gen doll. Right now she's affiliated with the Elmo, so having some extra fighting power would help with the upcoming op. Understood. I'll leave Nemesis and Covenant here to defend the Elmo. Everyone else will go help hide 4-4. Roger that. I'm counting on you. Goes ends the transmission and prepares to head out. As for me, I pause to think before sending a transmission to Santaresi. Santaresi, sit rep. The enemy has attempted 2 counterattacks. We've repulsed them both. They might continue trying to seize this location. Abandon the base station and return to the Elmo. Just like that, Master. Mangi will lower the guard once we abandon the base station. However... I think for a moment. Before that, send one last message from it. What kind of message? Use Morse code to broadcast in clear text. Where are you? Alright, I will do so now. Soon Groza's Jeep leaves the Elmo and races off into the distance. Meanwhile, a series of long and short tones repeat through my earpiece, and I pray that they will convey adequate hope. Come on, you have to make it. And that is actually the end of this event's story. And the reason why it is as abrupt as it is, I can only guess, is for a very simple one. And that is that the next event is Klukais. Which I suppose will probably start off from right where this one ends. So, that being said, this event is done. Which look at that, I can grab more stamina. Yippee. Okay. I can put the fucking t-shirt as my icon now. Yippee! Alright. You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing that I did yesterday. I'm gonna actually do one more raid in Tarkov. Because, why not? Ain't nothing stopping me now.